relatively new to League of Legends as a whole compared to a lot of these other players that have been playing this game for years. But I love to see that he's just got this mindset of get out of lane, start making plays happen, get around the map, get this vision down. And this is what 100 Thieves needed to stay in this game, because that got them a lot of gold in their pockets, and then they were able to actually get to the teamfight stage that they needed to without too big of a gold deficit.
Yeah, I want to highlight a couple things. Firstly, Poom, he does these first set of roams without any vision on the rest of his team. EGA don't know where 100 Thieves are, and that allows him to bluff that they're with him because you don't know better. That was a big difference that he got a little bit punished for later on. But after Poom brings it back, we see Contract say, nah, I'm taking this right back. We're going to get back to the chaos style that I love to play. Finds a solo kill onto Contracts, and this just leads into a number of picks for Evil Geniuses that will eventually reward them with the Baron. They get some chaos back into the game. They tear apart the battle lines that we know that 100 Thieves want to be playing with, and it ends up resulting in them taking a couple of close team fights, but ones that they were able to definitively win in the end.
Yeah, it was those key moments, as you said, Joshi, leading to the winning victory for EGA. This is a series, though, after all, which means 100 Thieves Academy have elected to go over to blue side. No substitutions. Kangas, what would you like to see come differently from 100 Thieves A?
I mean, right off the bat, can we just respect the Nidalee? I know I said it already, ban it out, and maybe you're thinking it's not that high of a priority jungler, right? You know, there's things like the Hecarim, like the Udyr that you need to ban out first, but Contracts on this pick. This is his comfort. He loves this one, and this is now 3 games in a row that you've got trounced by him on this pick. So I think that just getting him off of that, getting Kenvi in a better jungle matchup should absolutely be their top priority.
I think it took a heroic effort just to prevent this game from being a snowball caused by Contracts, right? Poom had these really big plays that brought the game right on back to even. But Mystiquest, he's talked about himself being this huge player in these best of series. He really prides himself on his adaptability. And the question is, if Mystiquest is able to respond to some of these roams that Poom has been going for and prevents those from taking place, I'm not sure that 100 Thieves will have what it takes to bring themselves back from the brink after such a disastrous early game.
Well, with Mystiquest considering himself very much a series player, I am sure he is satisfied to be walking away with the victory in game number 1. This is a best of 5, so there's more action to come here on LCS Proving Grounds. We will see you on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
and I think Contracts just wants to be on the aggressive end of any of these jungles. Try and bully Kenvi around in the early game here while he's looking to farm up to 6. He's going to take those opportunities. Would love to do on Italy. Obviously, he's not going to get that champion again probably in the series, so going to take Olaf here instead, as Tenacity is going to lose his volley bear here.
I like the Olaf versus Rel and Nocturne effect, like, right off the bat. Just because that idea of stunning, like if you're trying to fight the jungle in an early skirmish, I mean, just pop 6, you have Olaf ultimate. And if you're in a team fight, Nocturne should get, he feels really useless if he is not able to make use of his tether, of his sphere. So that's one way it looks like Contracts is going to try and play around that with the team fight comp that they have. And talking about like mid laners is going to be something that both teams would want to look towards. I expect that to be a Tristana bot lane versus the Kai'Sa. So Victor, Orianna, they're all up. I think Ori is a godlike pick for EG Academy with the comp that they have, so it's a great ban from EG. I don't think this should be a Victor early pick. I think I would love for EG Academy to pick top here and save, because if they just go for an early Victor pick or something like that, I think it's too easy to counter.
Yeah, we'll see. It would like make sense given the bans that have happened to kind of take that pick away here, but I think giving counter pick to JoJoPyun, who's been really good so far this tournament, and even in just the games we've seen so far in this series. So it is indeed going to be on over to Tony Top. Something he's maybe not as well known for, but I think if you want to give, a player that's not as used to playing tanks and weak side, a champion, On's like pretty good. Yeah. I also think like Nara is good for that reason, right? If you're a more aggressive player, but you have to play something a little bit more tank and team oriented, I think Nara is the kind of pick that you should be going for. So I also like that 100 Thieves Academy kind of banning that one and just forcing them to change things up. It is Victor though. For Demonte, it's kind of expected, so it is going to be Aatrox now for Tenacity, finally going to be given a little bit more room to play something a bit more aggressive. Because again, this was a player that was very good on, the more aggressive, the more carry-style champions. Aatrox, in his pool so far this tournament, or this year, let's say, has been kind of the most aggressive pick he's pulled out.
Yeah, he's had some great Aatrox games. It's a good pick if you know what you're going into. I think a lot of times Aatrox gets a bad rep because it's blind picked. So he doesn't really get a chance to play the game. And there we go. JoJoPyun on his Sylas. And when we don't have an image for JoJoPyun to put on a graphic or anything, we use Sylas instead because it's just a pick that he's so damn good on. So I love the fact that he gets the opportunity to play it. He has Nocturne ultimate. He has the Rel ultimate. So this one is not as juicy as, Sylas games in the past, but he's just way too good. And it makes it easier now for Olaf to play through mid lane. Victor's going to have a tough time dealing with Olaf and Sylas.
Yeah, and the side lanes too will have the same problem if that spills over. Sylas is just so good when he roams out of lane as well. It tends to be where you get a lot of your leads, but I think with the way Contracts and JoJoPyun play together, there is a lot of threat here in the 2v2 around mid, which is will be something fun to watch. And just Sylas scaling is kind of absurd. The fact that his ulti basically gives you additional AP ratios on ultimates you're already stealing that have pretty good ratios a lot of the time. Tristana, when you have 4 or 5 items, is absolutely ridiculous.
That's true.
As Sylas. Not a skill you'd think that would do too much damage, but if you've played since Season 1, you may remember the terror of mid lane Trist and her ultimate. So Sylas can kind of recreate some of that, I guess, nightmare for you.
Yeah, without the AP ratio on the jump. That one was a doozy.
Yeah, look. It's some of the old champions were... It was different. It was a different time.
It was a different time. There's a lot of things we want to expel off our mind from those times. That's for sure. AP Scion with the pointing click stun. That one that one was pure hatred. Anytime you have to face that. But yeah, I think it's interesting when we talk about scaling because that side that the Sylas, Ornn, specifically Sylas and Kai'Sa, very short range versus the Victor and Tristana. Overall, if you're looking at from a front to back perspective, if we're just having a gentleman's handshake, I like what 100 Thieves Academy has. But we don't get that. The games are scrappy, a little bit chaotic, and Sylas is going to be on side lane forcing the Victor to match him. So this is going to be a game where it's Commander Sylas. Everything Sylas says on his move timers. Okay, Captain, we're fighting. If he has a flank, okay, Captain, you say when we go. For me, JoJoPyun has a lot on his shoulders in this specific game. As the game goes on, if he has an advantage, of course, then it's based off of what ultimate he has that they're going to fight. It's based off of where he's in, if he's in a flank position or if he has on side lane, that they're going to fight around. So I love the fact that they have a lot of confidence in this young player.
All right, well, looks like
no.
spicy level 1s are brewing as well. This is one of the other things Silas gives you. Luger going to get chained up, and Troyer's going to chase him. Luger going to skill jump and jump away. Very disciplined skilling there from the Trist, and does get out nice and easily, even though he does have to commit a skill point to the W early.
What has the scrims been for EG Academy that it feels like 2 games in a row? The strategy is, of course, they want to burn a flash off someone, but certainly put him back to base late. It's like, at least Luger will come back, and he won't be in a bad position. But that was a really smart level 1. We've seen that a few times with Silas's in the past. Really well done.
Yeah, we'll be slightly late here. Although if he's leashing anyway, might not matter. Looks like he's going to go ahead and help Kenvi. It's going to be the same, though, for Olaf here. It's kind of like, it's funny, it's kind of like 2 different sides of the same story where Contracts just wants help so we can, outspeed Kenvi, and Kenvi wants help to try and keep pace with Olaf, as Jojo Poon is already walking in and warding. Poom's going to spot that and sweep it away, but that's going to give some information there. Now they have to know Kenvi's on red.
Yeah, good overall decision to do that. They know that Kenvi was on red true. They just don't know the timing on it. If he's going from red Raptors to top side, but in this case, he's doing a full clear of the bot side jungle. So the timing is going to be a little, you just don't know what his goal is going to be, which is nice that Poom has done that to kind of cover for his jungle.
Yeah, a little bit of information denial as well, and also some XP. And some gold goes over, so Poom happy to commit the sweeper there. Luger and Poom, they're also going to look to be aggressive here. They were kind of on the defensive end of the 2v2 in the last game, going to be on the aggressive end this time around. I think we are going to expect to see Rel dictate a lot of the kind of action in these matchups.
It depends.
Hitting level 2 first dictates as well.
It depends, because I would actually give the nod to Shoryu and Mystiques, because oh my god, wait a second.
Yeah, Contract's already here. Axe is going to have to be flashed, and Dojo Pyun is at it again.
Yeah, Damonte didn't know if that was going to hit. If it was going to hit, it was going to be on the tip of the hitbox. But in this case, he did a respect flash. But take a look at this now. He needs to get out of there.
Yeah, that sweeper did actually give him a little bit of early info. Kenvi looking for the fear is going to be forcing the flash on the other side. So now it's a mid laner and a jungler on 2 different teams without their flash. And Kenvi looking to invade. Contracts insta-smites the big raptor. And then it's going to chase Kenvi out of there.
Yeah, I mean, that was really close. Remember, Kenvi does have exhaust there, so that was a good early flash from Contract.
Oh my goodness, he's such a beast. Dojo Pyun's in there, he's gonna get first blood. That's a solo kill at the end of it all.
Didn't even need him. I don't need you, Contracts. You're just the insurance policy.
Just the vision. There's a ward to the left of the river, making sure Kenvi doesn't get involved. TP back for Damonte. Poom's here as well, but Jojo Pyun, the heist is over. He's completed it.
Oh,
man. This one again, so beautiful.
Just didn't have any way to get out of that. Remember, flash blown from Damonte. Last tick of his auto attack is able to finish off. Jojo Pyun, we said that this was going to be him being the captain of the ship, and it's already starting out really well.
Yeah, this play's pretty good, huh? His counter pick working out well so far. Damonte going to have no TP and no flash now, but to be fair, Jojo Pyun not going to have either as well. Kenvi continuing to clear through the jungle, going to be a little bit behind the Olaf as expected, but will ding 4 here as he takes out the Grump, and Contracts hasn't had nearly the same amount of influence on both sides of the jungle this go around. It is once again Commander Silas here for Jojo Pyun, causing those problems early.
And these lanes have been working out as they should, where in this case I wanted to mention Shoryu and Mystiques should be confident with how they play out their bot lane, just because you don't want to fight into a Hail of Blades Kai'Sa really early on. Along with the plasma stacks, it's just difficult to fight into that. Also has exhaust, just to point that out there. So Mystiques has just found the Rel.
Yeah, actually now been found out. All the CC chains in, the exhaust is down as well. Poom now gonna have to force a flash, but he can't flash anywhere. So Contracts just collects one.
All right, wrong place, wrong time. He wanted to get a defensive ward down. This would be the timing that Contracts would want to take first Dragon. Remember, he pathed bot to top. So this was his timer to go bot, take Dragon, and then path right back topside. But he found a Rel in his stead. And Silas with the great presence of mind to come in, abscond, abduct, easy kill.
Yeah, and now Jojo Pyun holding this wave. Just going to get slowly pushing back. He's down, about a wave of CS, but going to cut that down pretty rapidly here as Damonte does not want to step forward in this 1v1. As already knows that Jojo Pyun is willing It's a flash on him at a moment's notice and doesn't even have flash right now. That's how scary it is. Damonte just going to have to play patient here. Really is at the whim of how Silas wants to control this lane, as Jojo Poon's going to get it pushing back now.
Is this a dragon being done by 100 Thieves? Feels like a bit of a gambit here.
Whoop. Poom also going to get aggressive. Ignites on the contracts, though. Damage is good, but he's dead. So that's a good start there. Now Mr. Quest is onto Luga. Luga's going to have to jump out and does get out, but Tony tops here. Not level 6 though, and isn't going to get the knock up there. Not quite the distance he needed onto that wall. So 100 Thieves going to get 1 kill, but they won't get the dragon they started initially.
Yeah, that actually does work out so much better for 100 Thieves. I was worried for them because EG does contest as a team. They should be able to win that fight. But look at the overreaction there. Tony Top teleporting towards the bot side in an already really bad wave state. 49 minions to 28, and it's only getting worse. He tried to help the team, and it's only he's going to pay for it.
Yeah, and if he's level 6, different story, right? Easiest on ulti of his life, maybe gets 2 or 3 kills for the team. Well worth the investment of the teleport. As it stands, though, yeah, I agree with you. Not looking good there. Down 20 CS and counting here is going to be very vulnerable to Kenvy's gank. Level 5 here for the Nocturne. Doesn't need the 6 given this positioning. Yeah. Although he's maybe going to be close enough to it as well. So Tony going to have to be very careful right now.
Yeah, the fact that he also used this flash throughout the entire ordeal too. If you commit your Top's teleport, you're doing everything you can so you can make it worthwhile with a kill or something. And they didn't get anything. So this is just punishment central. Thank God Contracts comes in just to help him out so he can push this wave, and otherwise it's just demoralizing.
Yeah, and doesn't even move into maybe breaky here, but at least enough coverage for Tony to know that probably nothing bad's happening. It's mid lane where the action is once again. Jojo Poon's going to find the stun, but Gravity Well is going to find the second. But it is Alistar in hot pursuit. Jojo Poon's going to steal the ulti. Chaos Storm out though, and this is a level 3 Alistar in a lot of trouble. Now level 4, very conveniently timed. Does get out safely as Rebels are going to counter engage in mid lane.
So close, just outside the reach of the headbutt pulverize combo, right? So it was a good attempt overall, and it's only making it clearer that Damonte, he was going to be a target before the game started. But especially with how this lane has been going, it's not going to stop. They wanted to get a flash, I would suppose, but he's still going to hold on to his flash. Damonte going back mid lane, and Contracts.
Oh, Contracts is in there. It's a 1v3, but it just doesn't matter. Kenvy can't stun him, can't do anything, can't fight the Olaf. And Contracts just takes out the kill and's going to grab the red buff as a bonus.
All right. I mean, second in command, Juan. Wait, Contracts is getting teleported on. So he's just going forward.
He's committed. It doesn't matter. Damonte flashing into the blast cone. Contracts over the wall. He's going to be A-OK for now, but Aatrox there to finish it off. And Tenacity will get the kill. It is going to be Mr. Quest in trouble in a 1v4. Nowhere to go. And Luga is going to collect that kill.
All right. There is life now in this game. Tenacity was the beneficiary of all of what was happening around Dragon, and now he pays it forward. Great TP collapsed, and now we have ourselves a pretty damn fed Aatrox.
And again, I mean, this one I like, right? Kenvy just can't do anything. It's a 1v3, and Olaf's like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
You're right, and here's the thing, though. It comes back when you look back at this play. The team will likely, after this game, even though it looks fantastic, you get the kill on Kenvy. Like, remember, that's a TP advantage from the Aatrox. They will always be able to pull the trigger and collapse here. So an invade like this, very risky. You have to feel confident that you're ahead as a team. And in this case, it was just a bad call.
It's a good point. And 100 Thieves with maximum punish there just about. Getting a couple kills there in the jungle. Feeding gold over to Luga. Tenacity is now an absolute monster. Level 8 to level 7, so keeping the XP lead as well. He's up 33 CS there in the top lane. That's a huge amount. And even though On is probably not expected to do too well in the 1v1, teleporting away while getting smashed obviously is not going to help. So Contracts back in mid. That's the only place he knows. Apparently Ragnarok popped. See you later. And now the follow-up there from Alistar. That's going to be Poom dead as well. Indeed, it will be as doubles come in for Olaf, both the buffs and the kills.
All right, it's an official. It's a snowball. Like this game. This game is relentless. If at first you don't succeed, all right, go back to plan A. And it's definitely with Victor getting pummeled. This is going to be a dragon that they take very easily.
All right, well, Dragon over, not as early as it could have been, but still happy to take it here once again. Contracts is at the top of the charts as far as gold goes. 4,400 gold Almost there. Jojo Pune, the one next in line, he's about 500 gold ahead of his mid laner, who's also doing very well. And Alstar is going to go ahead back home. Kenvi at least going to try and trade off here and get the Rift Herald. This happened last game as well after that first dragon, but we'll see if Kenvi can get a little bit more damage done here with the Herald, or at least get some plates for a teammate here. I'm definitely eyeing top lane here. Tenacity's already done such a good job, and he's even going to come down to help.
Yeah, you were right when you said that it reminds you of last game. There's a lot about this game that reminds me of last game. Damonte and Kenvi behind early. Yep, you got a check mark for that. Early dragons being taken, as you had mentioned, for Contracts, who is phenomenally ahead. Check mark on that one as well. And at least with this one, Tenacity has a huge lead, so they can play towards him and on his timers. But that's a must now. And I think 100 Thieves do have engaged tools like you saw in the first Dragon, or at least like the first attempt at it, where Rel, Nocturne, and Tristana can pick off people who are just off on their own. So that's a playmaking tool that they can do to get back into the game on their own. But it's going to be tough. Jojo Pune and Contracts are just so monstrously ahead right now.
Yeah, and I think it's only going to get worse. Stridebreaker finished there for Contracts. Goredrinker, though, done for Tenacity. So it is the two players that are most ahead for their teams. First of the mythic items kind of makes sense, as 2v2 has been going actually really well for both sides. Show you even in CS here up against Luger and Poom. It just feels like it's been a lot of back and forth here. In fact, there's 10 plates still down here in the bottom side of the map. So kind of unlike the attention that spilled over from level 1 before into the bottom side, that hasn't happened here yet, at least. It has certainly been very centralized in this game.
It's generally really hard to look for a play bot lane, because there's always going to at least be defensive wards, or if a team is stacking a wave and you see them, enemy team, like ducking out of Fog of War mid lane, you can see the play coming from a mile away, and the jungler will be there to defend. So in this case, they're like, all right, we're both just happy with the champions that we have, and we're going to be using our supports on whenever we're trying to get vision with our jungler. In this case, you see Poom getting an idea that Contracts was invading there, so they have eyes on that. So but both AD carries are just going to be farming. It reminds me of yesterday, game between C9 Academy and Norg. It felt like the game was decided everywhere outside of bot lane.
Right.
Yeah.
And then bot lane scooped in for the kills whenever the team fights broke in one way.
Typical.
As top side, yeah, I mean, you know what? That's the life of the bot lane sometimes. Feels bad, man. Top side, Rift Herald dropped right on time, actually, for Kenvi. Was running low on timer there, but more than enough time to get these plates, and Tenacity has done a little bit of groundwork here on this tower.
Get that gold!
Gonna grab that gold indeed. No gank, though, forthcoming. In fact, Kenvi's just left. That's all he needed to do there was deliver the Herald to the top side. Tony Top collects the 25 gold out of Shelly, and Contracts is very unsurprisingly here in mid lane. Just
all
go.
right.
Yeah, Stridebreaker on him. Yeah, Ragnarok! Jojo Pune. Oh, he stole the ulti. He's trying to Chaos Storm. He's not going to get it. Poon, they're over the top. Luca with the punish. Very well played by 100 Thieves. Finally, catch a move Rick standing.
Yeah, that's the part of the VOD you don't look back on. That one, we are so off the same page. That was a delay and a half. Where Contracts is like, actually, I can just kill him. He just noticed how much, he knew how much damage he did, and he was checking him. Maybe if remember, Jojo Pune has flash, he could look for the play. But at the end of the day, I think that's just too cheap. You don't want to do that. Damonte can play around it. I think he had flash at the time, but have to look back at it. But it's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, you don't look for it, and at the very least, let your mid laner know.
Yeah, do it together. You know, if you're gonna get a little wild. Damonte did have flash, still has flash. Does deflect that gank thanks to the very nice timing of his bottom lane. Luger actually with 2 kills and 1 assist right now, so feeling pretty good about the early acceleration gold that Tristana is getting. But that will not deter Jojo Pune for too much longer. Both mages actually still, I guess it's an anti-mage versus a mage, don't worry about it. Still looking for that first mythic, but have taken some detours here, got some rings, got actually 2 different rings. We got the cooldown boots, because everybody needs those now. They're just the coolest thing ever. So, still scaling up here, but Jojo Pune, again, just so much pressure. Constantly diving onto Damonte here.
This should be a dragon here for Evil Genius Academy. Tenacity's coming down bot lane to secure it, but remember, Tony Top has teleport. Tristana does not have her Kraken. She doesn't have her item just yet. Meanwhile, Shoryu has his mythic. Contract is ready and has been online for some time. So honestly, Evil Geniuses, I think, want to fight for this one. It just depends on if Tony Top wants to be here. He's teleporting in.
He's going to be asked to be here regardless. As you mentioned, as TP'd in, as JoJoPuan also TPing back through. Oh, there's Tony Top. I was wondering where Tony went to. But he's now ready with the ulti. Level 11 as well in the on. Going to be a 5v5 if nothing else.
Yeah,
we'll see.
This is usually rough
when
dragon. Your engagers are not in a flank position, not in a, like, Poom is looking. So he's in a position where he can flash, you know, W, Rel, ulti, all these things. And he's going to be eyeing.
Here he comes. Pops the ulti in. Oh, actually now counter pops it, sorry, because it already was used. Damage is massive there on the front side. It's AoE there onto EG, but Contracts, he's taking down Demonte. Luger, though, still free firing. Needs to be picked off there, and it's Alistar that's going to get melted in the front side. JoJoPuan is going to be next to go. Sure, but no, the health he got back is absolutely ridiculous, but Luger still alive alongside Tenacity, and it's going to be a 2v1 to finish it off as it's a triple kill out of the Aatrox, and Tony Top's going to make it the Ace. Luger collects the last one.
Style on him, man. Tenacity is huge this game. Luger and Tenacity throughout that entire fight were safe and pristine, and that's the early game coming into play, that advantage that Tenacity had. Take a look at this. The ulti, the second ulti from Orin missed. So Demonte actually got a lot of damage down and was able to stay alive. Meanwhile, the Orin, who is the Fed member on the Evil Geniuses Academy team, gets popped early in the fight. So from this point forward, just keep your eyes on Luger and keep your eyes on Tenacity here. It's like they're the ones that are so free to fight and fire off. I was a little concerned there from Luger. He did jump in preemptively and was going to throw his life away, but had to flash out instantly, keep range. But at the end of the day, he recognized that, and it's going to be Luger, it's going to be Tenacity, and it's going to be 100 Thieves that stand tall.
Yeah, 404 and 403 for Luger and Tenacity respectively. So 2 items already done for almost both of them. Now Luger has the Kraken Slayer and is working towards item number 2. Already the Sterix finished now for Tenacity, and 100 Thieves up 2,500 gold. Didn't get the Dragon, but we can kind of think about fighting for these next few, as Kenby's going to grab the second Rift Herald for his team.
Yep. Unlike
last game, does manage to get both this time around, and going to start opening up the map and applying pressure to EG. This was kind of the position EG were in last game. Maybe the lead wasn't quite as big as it was in Game 1 for Evil Geniuses Academy, but 100 Thieves certainly in a good position to have a very strong mid-game.
Yeah, and so I just don't think any of the mistakes that we saw, like the big mistakes that we saw last game, will happen again. Usually, like something as punishing as that, you just recognize if we lose one member, just back away and play it safe. And I think in this game, 100 Thieves have another lead. They don't want to throw that away again. And one thing I love about Best of Fives is just like the evolution of it, where you see a player starts popping off and their primary, in this case Tenacity, their primary role is playing tanks, playing for the squad, like we saw from the analyst desk, that conversation that was happening. But if he is having a moment like this, you're like, wait a minute, next game, why don't you give him all the draft dollars?
Yeah.
Give him the carries, like get him down in 5th pick. Like if Tenacity recognizes and he has confidence that he's doing well versus Tony, you might see changes like that happen.
Yeah, I mean, that is, as you said, one of the nice things about a longer series, and will be really fun to track how that goes, because you have to think, especially if EG, do something you haven't done yet this tournament, which is drop games to 100 Thieves, and in their eyes, it still hasn't happened yet. Still going to have to make them work for it here, although 100 Thieves are positioned well. We know Tony Top will not shy away from his carries if given the opportunity to pick them, so certainly could get real spicy in the top side if both of them want to flex his carry muscles a little bit here. But as it stands, Evil Geniuses Academy going to have to lean on this 3rd dragon here and this Ocean Soul, which is a very powerful soul if you can get it. But going to need to grab that 3rd dragon, of course, to make that a viable threat.
That is probably the most important thing to think about, is the fact that there's a lot of sustain on the map already from how good Tenacity has been playing. And now you have to deal with an Ocean Soul. We need healing reduction. Tony Top already has that. I mean, he's going to be fine. If anyone touches him, great. We need to see it from Shoryu, JoJoPuan. Essentially, like if later on in these fights, we need to make it sure that 100 Thieves, who are going to be, should be beneficiaries of the next Ocean Dragons, get ahead. But here goes. Where's the fight happening?
Bottom side. It is JoJoPuan that's getting chased away. Has the Aatrox ulti stolen, but it doesn't matter. Tenacity just going to dunk on him. And he and Kenvi going to clean up one.
All right, the captain's not looking good here.
Boat's leaking.
Yeah, it's we don't have the tools to keep the ship afloat. They put him against the Aatrox. That honestly, these are the type of lane assignments where you're like, we can't have Ornn go up against him. He's getting pounded. But you definitely can't have Sylas versus him either. This Aatrox has no more opponents now in the side lane that can take him. So from this point forward, side lane advantage is there for 100 Thieves. And if anything's happening for Evil Geniuses Academy on one side of the map, they're on a timer.
All right, well, minute 25 now until that dragon happens here. Certainly Tenacity feels like he has all the room in the world, whether it's in the side lane or in these fights, to push 100 Thieves over through this mid game. Step one's definitely going to be deflecting this next dragon, because can't afford to give the EG, just makes the game too volatile. But Evil Genius Academy, pretty scrappy, I think is a generous word. They love fighting, which is really fun to watch. And Contracts, despite collecting a few more deaths than he had the last time around we saw early on in this game, still very good at kind of zerging a backline threat, especially if Luger is threatened at all by the Olaf, or maybe one of the person jumping in. Let's say Jojo steals the Nocturne ulti again and is able to use it first this time around, which was one of the things that made it difficult around that last dragon fight. Luger's massive here alongside Tenacity, so it is tricky that you have to deal with, a frontline threat and a backline threat. Yeah. Because typically you don't have space to deal with both. But if you can neutralize Luger and kite out Tenacity, going to be a lot easier for you, especially if you get a pick here. But Poom is going to jump away there unmounted and be just fine.
Yeah, it's been happening too much to Poom this game getting caught out. So he's recognizing that he's... Oh, wait a second.
Can you catch this Aatrox? I don't know what the answer to that question is. I don't think so. Tenacity popping off. Luger descending with the rest of the team. And Demonte's going to pick up a kill as well. Make it 3 already. Luger's jumping in to celebrate as Tony Tubb's going to get chased all the way back to the tier 2 and into the fountain. Not yet. Tenacity, though, still going. Does give up the chase, but 3 kills for 100 Thieves very easily.
I think people forgot about what Gore Drinker does right there. That was a full HP heal, man. That guy went straight back up. Remember, yeah, Sterix gauge too, so that piled on with Sterix, he felt like a fresh man there. Like nothing ever happened. So this is going to be a Baron there for 100 Thieves after a failed pick from EG.
Oh, Tony, what are you doing here? Tried to maybe steal it with the ulti, but he's just going to be left for dead. A 4th kill, and Shoyu's here as well. Gets the reset for Luger. Over the wall, he goes to safety. Does use the ultimate to get out of range.
No way.
But Jojo, how did you get here? Teleporting back in, very ambitious. EG just throwing a little bit too much of themselves here at the enemy, and now's the Magnet Storm out of Sylas. Stolen is nice, but it's not enough as Luger. He's picked up 2 already. He's going to make it a triple kill. Contract's trying to get 1 back, and he does indeed get it, but the laser beam is going to knock him down. Does indeed melt the Viking. And EG just get aced.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a snowball once more. It is this game.
It hasn't changed.
Yeah, we're back. 100 Thieves called these fights. It was Evil Geniuses that felt, for whatever reason, after Baron was taken, that they can take that fight. Not true. That is false. You can't do it. Aatrox has too much sustain in them, is too strong. Same goes for Luger. So this is the initial play. Just take a look at his health. My God, how do you deal with that? So they've tried for it. They failed, obviously. And so that puts 100 Thieves in a position where they're now going for Baron. And Evil Geniuses are like, okay, do we contest? Like, do we fight for it? And that was their call.
Didn't work out, as we learned. 100 Thieves. Oh, it's like 10,000 gold ahead almost. Still chasing him. Can be getting it ulted by Jojo Pyun. But exhaust him. That's a really good target there. Oh, goodness. What happened to Tenacity? Couldn't get over the wall, but the rest of the team is here. Can be finally going to die. Show you over the top to kite out of the way of the Aatrox. But there's Tenacity dominating. What a surprise. He takes out Contracts. And now Jojo Pyun, 1v3, going to dive back in, but get killed by Luger. He's got 11 kills now. Goes legendary on the game. As Shoyu's just going to get dunked. Tenacity going godlike. Gets yet another, and it just doesn't matter. So far behind now for EG, and 100 Thieves looking real good to tie up the series.
This is going to feel like a really bad game to lose if you're EG. Like, with how much of a lead you had through mid lane, to turn that into 6 deaths piling on to Jojo Pyun, it was just overall planning, feeling really confident of how they want to take these fights. There was a lot of mistakes that ended up happening here. Now, this is my funniest part. Yeah, you're right. Aatrox could not get over. So, in fact, it was Shoryu and Silas that changed places to get over the wall, and Tenacity's like, all right, I'm just going to deal with the Olaf here, who's now alone. So what are you going to do about that? And going back to the point.
What a cue.
That was nice. This game felt like it was EG's for sure, and then they stopped making plans and started getting a little lazier around, okay, enemy top laner has TP advantage, our top laner's in a really bad spot, we're just going to invade anyways, and then that bit them. And I know that Dragon contest also was a huge mistake that ended up happening that put Ornn really far behind. There are a lot of things this game that, they would want to look back on. They just don't have the time to do it. Very limited time between Game 2 and Game 3.
Yeah, as you can see, middle has been opened up, so there is that threat as well. 100 Thieves can look to apply pressure to. Tenacity's just face checking every brush because he's Tenacity and he's got 7 kills. Ulti out of Kenvi here, and they're going to chase in on 2. That is Olaf. Alistar's dead though. Olaf's going to die as well, and Poom gets killed. That's nice. His second one of the game.
We are in full
like
smart mode. Yeah. See hero, kill hero. Yeah, we didn't even need to see that. This game is over.
It's like 5 bullets.
The captain, he's alone.
Yeah, I mean, he did make that TP play post Baron, so I do appreciate that the team was continuing to listen. That is unreasonable. Oh god, he's dead. Luca goes legendary. Just a couple bullets in the back. Thumbs up. JoJo knows what's up, and I think EG do as well. We're going to have to reset the mental because 100 Thieves barreling down the top half of the map in record time, looking to knock down that Nexus.
Yeah, this feels like a speechless conversation that's happening with just the thumbs up span. Between the tilt thumbs up and the yep, we'll take this game. I want to see how quickly 100 Thieves want to take this. I feel like they just don't need to back ever. They back here, I mean, like, maybe for a TP from Tenacity, but he's already insanely ahead with Guardian Angel. All right, they're just going to play it safe here.
I mean, I was going to say, like, there is some value to prolonging this game, maybe, right? It depends. If EG are already talking about what they want to do next game, then you're maybe just giving them extra time. But if they're, like, still going to keep their heads in this game and want to be like, well, maybe there's a chance we can come back, right? Maybe, then actually prolonging the game might do some good mental damage on the other side. But let's watch this one again, because Tenacity deserves a bit of a highlight reel with how fed he's got this game.
Yeah, I mean, this one is just him auto-attacking him to death. They're so far away from
this is
their
the
own
one we
turrets.
missed.
Silas and Ornn are not a part of the play either, and just look at the passive that Tristana has, where she is a mile away from you, but it does not matter. Just getting chipped at.
Yeah, it turns out when you have 20 kills between your Ornn and your Tristana,
he's in
not
trouble.
to mention 20 assists. Actually, they've mirrored their score lines. It's just that Luger's stolen more kills. All you have to do is auto-attack your way to victory. And for Tristana especially, position she's very familiar with as a champion, with that passive draw a bead, as you mentioned. EG still trying to keep them at bay, but they are 15,000 gold behind. That Dragon Soul's out the window, by the way. Not getting anywhere close to Dragon number 4. It's up in 30 seconds. They wouldn't even be the soul if they got it. And 100 Thieves are going to look to end the game right around then anyway.
Yeah, EG just needs that one banger fight, okay? Anything that gives them a chance. But yeah, the next game. But like, they have 3 waves of super minions. They're going to have to just do something. Not a lot of people are going to like it, but what choice do they have? So, are you seriously going to play for Baron here, 100? You have 3 downed inhibitors. Stop it.
Telling you, Raz. Mental damage.
It is a you're
Keep
right.
EG thinking that they're still in the game.
Keep them in.
If Kojak steals this Baron, though, it's a complete mental win. Tenacity's going to try and cut that off. Ragnarok's going to get popped. Rest of the team's going to fight, but they don't have 2 here. Kenvi going to pop the ulti, chase down the Olaf. Kojak's in there, hoping the Baron was a little bit lower. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't. Luger going to get yet another kill, and once again, it's a rout. As Shoryu's going to run away before being dispatched by the rest of 100 Thieves. As DeMonte collects one here, and Tony Top is busy fighting the minion waves before the rest of 100 Thieves are going to stream in to end the game. They did get Baron Raz, so they will at least end with that one taken as well. But 100 Thieves, for the first time in a little while here in the Proving Grounds, are going to even up a series here and take a game off of Evil Geniuses Academy.
They're scaling. That's what it is. You can only lose so many times versus EGA before you take that first punch back. And what a game for Tenacity and Luger. Deathless for Luger, 14 kills. He was insane. He was a silent assassin. I know we were talking about Tenacity a lot because now you have that carry in the top lane. He's been there all season long. You finally have the chance to like show him off to your friends. Meanwhile, meanwhile, Luger has been, the best AD carry in Academy, and he showed it with this game on Tristana.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets going, he's like unbelievably good. And Luger, it's nice for him to have a showcase game here, as we are going to get ourselves a pretty spicy series. 100 Thieves have tied it all up, and the DS is going to break it down when we return. So we'll see you there.
Welcome back to LCS Proving Grounds presented by Verizon. We just wrapped up game number 2 between Evil Geniuses Academy and 100 Thieves Academy. And guess what? 100 Thieves A managed to tie up the series 1-1. Fellas, last time we talked a lot about the impact that contracts had on game number 1 for Evil Geniuses Academy. But Joshi, a lot of the enabling on the side of 100 Thieves really seemed to be coming from tenacity.
Yeah, this is a really big surprise just seeing how this all worked out. Obviously, he popped off in team fights, so we got to take some time to look at his early years and how he actually got strong enough to have the impact that he did in a lot of these later fights. And to do that, we're going to have some opportunity to examine his laning phase, something that we didn't really get to see a whole lot of on the actual stream. And it's going to be really interesting to watch how this Aatrox pick that we called out as being something really big that he used to play all the time is actually going to have some opportunities to pop off. All right, as we get through it, super fast, everybody, right? He does the early thing. He pushes it in. He does the LS cheater recall, comes back to lane. with a longsword. And notably, guys, when you do this cheater recall, you do it because it allows you to get the wave pushing back to you, right? Tenacity is doing a good job bullying Tony Top, and by the time we get here, there's a freeze. Tony Top has to give over a ton of HP and mana in order to break this freeze, maybe bring his jungler up, or he can try and make something on the rest of the map, and that's exactly what he does. He tries to come bot lane, but he's already weak. He's not level 6. He doesn't have an opportunity to do much of anything. And importantly, let's contrast this to what happens when you suddenly have a strong top laner coming down to actually interact with the rest of the map. Tenacity finds a low native carry, he finds a low Olaf, and it's very, very difficult for the Mirrors of Evil Genius to do anything. You get multiple kills, you get an assist off of this, and while we saw some of the lead up to it, he's able to cement his lead by making smart plays around the map. So watching Tenacity play through this early game and actually have a plan on what to do with it is something that is really exciting for a new player.
It's crazy because that TP from Tenacity came right after Contracts gets a 1v3 kill onto Kenvi in his own jungle. Just absolutely shut him down. We were sitting here like, okay, this game's over. Contracts is doing the Contracts thing against Kenvi, but that one TP play, you look at the Orin level 5 TPing in, didn't get anything done. You look at a level 7 Aatrox TPing in with 30 CS up over his top lane opponent. That's a lot scarier of a top laner.
And the reaction time from Tenacity to execute that TP to completely close in EGA in that moment was super effective. And I'm sure it contributed a lot to his effectiveness later on in the game, Kangas, because we saw World Ender completely unfolds.
Yeah, Tenacity with the leads he got in the early game. Again, just up in CS, that one TP was a huge play, but then we see what he's able to do with that lead that he had. I'm so happy we highlighted him as a player because these are the kinds of team fights that you're going to remember for years to come, right? You're on the Academy stage in the lower bracket. If you lose this series, you're out. But if you have a performance like this just does so much for you. Wouldn't have been able to do this if he didn't have that insane lead that he had. But like, look at what Tenacity does in this fight. I'm so happy, Joshi, that you highlighted him as one of the players that we should be watching. Very, very promising young guy here in the Academy scene. This is his, really first full year that we're going to see him in Academy from start to finish, presumably as long as he's still in the summer. And I just can't wait to see what this guy does next, man.
As far as watching this so far throughout his career, this is Tenacity's magnum opus, right? This is the best game of Tenacity we have ever seen, and I just gotta point out his damage per minute. This guy is ending worlds. This guy is a bit evil as the 100 Thieves, right? Up against the evil geniuses, we just gotta say that this guy is living evil. But we also have to shout out the other player that we were highlighting from 100 Thieves, Luger, looking really, really good because he has this huge front line to play in front of him. And Luger, we've always looked at as this later game scaling AD carry. He's not necessarily the most impressive laner, but when you get to this point of the game on the Tristana and you have this much support, he's able to make it work way better than a lot of his other compatriots would have.
He was up in CS, Joshi. He was up in CS over his lane opponent at 15 minutes. This is unheard of. He learned how to CS. So great performance from Luger. Love to see that too. But also just going back to the Tenacity point, we were talking during the show. He's learned how to play weak side, right? He's playing the tanks. He's playing playmaker for the team. But seeing him on the Aatrox, first of all, still not strong side. Like he wasn't getting ganks. It wasn't that he had jungle pressure. He was creating these advantages himself, which is just impressive to see. So, I mean, I predicted a clean 3-0 from Evil Geniuses Academy, so I'm already incorrect in my prediction, and I'm starting to sweat because if we see this kind of tenacity show up throughout the series, I can now see this going either way.
I just want to highlight one more thing, right? You talk about the fact that he's not getting resources, but he is also giving resources to the rest of the team. We didn't necessarily see this, but during the mid lane fight, Tenacity had to push. He had the opportunity to move first, and because of that, the exhaust Nocturne suddenly feels so confident to go forward and take these fights because he knows that his top laner is going to be able to move first. And watching him play throughout this tournament, like, again, magnum opus, this is his masterpiece.
Well, and it shows the evolution of these players. I mean, Kangas, you had mentioned the fact that Tenacity has evolved being able to play weak side as well, but Kenvi having that trust. This was a duo that was so aggressive during their time together on Next and have found ways to diversify themselves within this current roster. But 100 Thieves Academy will find themselves on red side because the Evil Geniuses Academy have elected to go back to blue. Seems to be the choice of the day for everyone. Kangas, what do you want to see?
It's kind of hard to say at this point because that last game, we were very critical of the Nocturne early picked up from 100 Thieves Academy. We were thinking, okay, when you pick this so early, it gives the enemy team time to lock in a bunch of beef walls. But we saw that, and the Nocturne pick still worked out at the end of the day, even though it's put so far behind because of Tenacity. So I'm looking at this next game thinking Evil Geniuses Academy, you got to realize, don't let Tenacity get on a streak. You know, you got to cut this off right now if you can. Maybe get him on something you're less comfortable with, or at least get Tony Top on something he can match with. Because the Ornn, you're not going to be able to match the Aatrox with. You need something that Tony Top can actually play aggressive on. So I think that now that they're on the blue side, they might still get counterpicked, but give Tony Top something to be a little more, carry-oriented with.
Yeah, I mean, Ornn is somebody that is maybe a bit more used to not being really utilized early, but when you get to the late game and it's still not the case, it's not the greatest place to be. Joshi, what about you? Thoughts going into game number 3?
I have to echo a lot of what King has just said and what Peter Dunn, the coach, said previously. This is going to be a series that is largely determined on the top half of the map, and this is the second time where we see that happening once again. The actions that the top laners, the junglers, and the mid laners are going to be consistently making are going to make or break a lot of this game. And finding that top lane counterpick, giving yourself these options to actually play to that side with an advantage. We saw Tenacity bring out the first Malphite he's ever played in this series. It didn't quite work out, but it's the kind of thing that I want to be seeing more of throughout the rest of the day.
I mean, well, in the end, for the rest of the day, with our scoreline all tied up, we will have to see if Evil Geniuses can quell the tenacity of 100 Thieves. We're going to kick it back to a break, and when we return, the action continues.
And we're popping back in for the LCS Proving Grounds presented by Verizon. Now 1-1 between Evil Geniuses Academy and 100 Thieves Academy. Whereas Evil Geniuses Academy had enough.
Yep.
Once 100 Thieves got in the lead, tried to make play after play after play, and 100 Thieves swiftly deflected any sort of counterplay and pretty easily won from there. So we're looking to be a pretty spicy series between these two sides.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're on the side of Evil Geniuses Academy, if you're Matt, tell your team to slow it down. We don't need to rush this game. Like, it really all fell to pieces, like the analyst desk really highlighted when there was a freeze top lane, and all the times, like you're in scrims, you're told if there's a top lane freeze, TP back there, fixed it. You don't want to be in a situation where you're frozen on and you're just continuously losing waves when you're making a play on the opposite side of the map. And in this case, his team was not making a play. They had actually, like, Olaf has died. You're not going to take Dragon. You're realistically maybe taking another kill. But that's so bad for the Ornn, so I don't want to see that again.
Yeah, it definitely felt like Tony was put in a spot that was very tough. Couldn't convert on the play they tried to make at the bottom side with that first TP. Tenacity got massively far ahead, and then every team fight, Luger got every kill, and then won easily from there on Tristana. So we'll see what happens here, what changes are perhaps on the horizon. EG back on the blue side here. It does seem to be the favored side for this series at least, and I think it makes perfect sense given what we've seen so far. Tahm Kench Renekton continuing to get banned away here, and I think that the Renekton Lucian trend against Jojo Pyun is going to continue, and certainly Tahm Kench is going to be a permanent ban here. I don't think you want to give Luger that kind of safety on something like a Jinx, as you mentioned, and certainly don't want to give away something like Senna as well.
It's just very straightforward champions, and there we go. It's going to be the Rel ban, especially against a team that just stacks up champions that really benefit with the Rel, like the Nocturne, Tristana as well. If she is in lane and she's jumping onto a target, instant Rel stun. It's just a very non-committal stun that you can follow up on. So great job taking that away. Now that just means Alistar raises straight in priority. Such a strong pick now, just because if you're just looking for a frontline tank, he's the option. Now Thresh is another pick you can go to as a response, but I love the Alistar.
All right, well, we'll see if Udyr gets banned away again. 100 Thieves not going to it instantly.
They should,
and again, have to consider something like the Nidalee, but maybe if they give Nidalee, they just take Udyr, and Kenby's happy with that trade. They are going to ban the Nidalee instead, so that screams Udyr. But I don't know if Contracts really wants to play Udyr. Never mind, he wants to play Udyr.
It's one of those things where it's been off the plate for so long. When it finally is time to play it, it's not a difficult champion. It's very straightforward. It's a great early game pick. Kenby, in the past, in games that I've, my teams have played against him, where it's like he's gonna be fine playing. Like, his team will play around him. It doesn't matter if they can have to concede like first two scuttles or something, and he has to full clear. He's just gonna be looking towards later game stages, like a Kindred, something like that. I'm interested to see what the option is going to be here.
All right, well, Tristana again for Luger. Clearly liked that champion. Versus something like the Kai'Sa or the Xayah that Shoyu had last game in the game before. Is Lilia there for Kenby? So leaving the door open for Tristana mid, first of all, which is really nice, actually. We talked about the flex last game, but it was way less likely because they already had Nocturne, and it just feels like you have so many ADs if you put Trist mid as well. So Lilia is going to leave some of that open. Perfectly good champion here. I think a champion that somewhat overshadowed by the likes of Nidalee and just isn't as popular as she used to be, given how many powerful junglers there are, but I still think very good, especially in the hands of competent Lilia players. Shoyu is going to go back to Kai'Sa though, and we'll see if there is going to be that Alistar, because as you said, that's kind of the premier support left up, and it hasn't been taken by either team just yet, but perhaps maybe teams are happy to let it go, and maybe
it has to be picked right here.
Thresh.
I think it has to be picked right here, because if it isn't, then 100 Thieves will pick it up and they'll just start banning supports. So that's what I'm looking for. But Mystikas is a great Thresh player. So he is really known for being an exceptional Thresh. So maybe he's telling his team, I don't give a damn about the pick. Like, I'm super confident in my options. Drop me down to 4-5. That seems like that's going to be the take. But now for Poom, I think he just has to. I don't want to, there's always the risk of over-focusing on one thing. Like on one pick like the Alistar, but in this case I think it's completely fine. They're going to go straight to 4-5. That means that 100 Thieves Academy will be the one with the first pick.
So the interesting thing here, I think, is that both supports are kind of saying like, hey, we'll take a later pick in the draft, and I think they're doing that because they expect both mid laners to be eating more bans. But 100 Thieves Academy might already have their mid laner, actually. It could just be that Tristana. So I wonder if there's anything to play for here. And of course, as I say that, I guess a mid lane on Jojo Pyun's side gets banned, but has been played support in the past gets banned. And Alistar just gets insta-banned, actually, by EG. They didn't even want to pick it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a good ban because 100 Thieves are going to just pick it on 4. Like, they just have the first dibs at it. So I wonder if the Thresh gets banned as well, and what the support pool will look like from then on. Orianna banned there, so now JoJoPyeon will not be able to go for it as well. So this is interesting. Remember, Damonte does not have a good series so far. Like 2 games in a row where he's just been like getting destroyed in the early portions of the game. One because of the level 1 that was really unlucky. I mean, that just happens. The second one, I mean, that was a bit of a disaster mid. So you're right. Like, it could just be a Tristana mid with an AP jungler. Vayne, it's a hover. I love Vayne. I love Vayne here. It's been the pick versus Udyr comps in general. When you're going against a comp that wants to front to back and doesn't have an easy dash, Udyr already scales poorly. Now it's just going to feel so bad because he's going up against 2 hard scaling 80 carries in Tristana and Vayne now.
Curious to see what EG respond with here, because they need firepower here against these ADs and also need a way to lock them down. Rakan not bad. We'll see if that's the option here for Mr. Crest, and certainly it will be. And, you know, Syndra's up. You know, that was the pick I was maybe expecting Damonte to want. We'll see if JoJoPyeon wants a hero, if he wants something maybe like the Rise, maybe something more aggressive. Certainly plenty of options here.
I think something that needs to dive. I think they need a diving element, because if they go front to back versus Tristana Vayne, they'll lose. Ooh, Cassiopeia is a decent option, actually, especially because of the miasma that she has. I know I'm just going over hovers, and it's usually just a bad thing, but like for me, if I think it's a legitimate hover where you can see a case for it, it's fine. It's just it would be a blind pick versus Tristana, so that's the turn off. But Syndra, great pick in the composition, but really front to back does heavily favor 100 Thieves Academy.
Yeah, gonna have to get some pretty juicy Syndra ultis here onto these carries, and oh goodness, Enchanter coming here for Poom. Oh, Brom good too, right? Like, any way to protect these carries, that's all you're really looking for. Poom goes for maybe the best option left in Brom. Yeah,
if they go for a Lulu, then you know, you have an Enchanter and a Lilia. Like, how are you gonna start fights without the Scion? It gets really difficult there, but now they have double 80 carry with a Braum. They can play bot side and then some. So very clear what 100 Thieves Academy want to do with their comp. I think that's really nice. For EG, I think they need to punish top lane. Top lane, Gnar versus Scion is great. Also, Udyr just wins the matchup if he can get on top of the Lilia. So he should be able to bully for it. And then there's always the X factor of a Syndra. I know I hear a lot of like question marks on Syndra. I think she is still a great pick in the hands of skilled players. People question Syndra until it's on the hands of a rookie or of a faker. Like if there's someone that's truly talented on the pick. So if JoJoPyeon has great stuns and his team is are on lock for it, then it could be game changing.
I also imagine that like the more he and Contracts can combine in the early stages of this game, the better things are going to be. Whether that's like transferring their pressure topside, as you're mentioning, where that is maybe the best place they can attack, or if Contracts just decides to go mid every game once again. I think as long as Syndra can stay ahead or slightly of the curve and actually threaten these carries very severely, especially without having to commit nearly as many spells, great time. As soon as Vayne and Triss can like shake off just an ulti on its own or just one orb and an ulti on its own, it's like silly. Like they just don't care about you at all, and then you can't hit any stuns, and the game ends very quickly once your front line is getting kited and your backline can't deal with their backline because they have a Vayne and a Triss and you have nothing.
Yeah, so that's the concerning part. It feels like you're on that side of the table. Start fights early. Dragon stack. I would really love to see the Udyr start to stack Dragon and aim for an early soul. It's not as if that they just lose, right, as the game goes on. It's just difficult. If you think of it from, I know I've been speaking it from the perspective of the Udyr, but if you think of it from the Gnar perspective, unless if he's on the flank, how hard is it to walk into Lilia, Tristana, and Vayne? Not only great, front to back options, sure, with the range of Tristana and the, percent damage or like the procs that Vayne can actually apply, but also just how safe they are in team fights with the invisibility that Vayne has and the jump, I guess, that Tristana has. So like, there's a lot there. Talked a lot about what 100 Thieves can do later on in the game. I want to see what Evil Genius can do early.
We'll have to see. And surprisingly, everyone's fanned out at level 1 here across the river. No level 1 here for EG.
No shenanigans.
2 successful ones, certainly a very successful one in game 1, but instead deciding to keep it chill here for the early stages of this one. Contracts is, forward, but he's not going to be walking in blind, you have to imagine, so just going to go back to his jungle now that things are spawning.
This says a lot because Evil Geniuses in the first few games were the ones that were really willing to invade to get something when they had something that was slightly advantageous. 100 Thieves have so much. They have Braum and 2 AD carries and a Lilia. That early invade is demonic, but they didn't want to do it. They wanted to fan with the advantage that they have. They just want to keep standard early games. So that just showcases that they don't want to flip when they feel pretty confident with the strategy that they have.
Also, very curious just how this 2v2 goes as well, because I can kind of see arguments for both ADs being pretty good against each other, but I think supports, as always, are going to make the bigger difference there, and 2 stuns already there from Poom off the passive as Luger is just letting rip here in the 2v2.
I didn't get to make a mention of it now that we're in the game. That's Halo Blade's Vayne. So, yeah, the trades from Braum Vayne. Oh, was looking for it. Should mean that she gets control of the lane now and can just play behind Braum. So
this isn't, sit and scale Vayne. This is trying to get it done early here, knowing that you have to scale at some point. Exactly.
So that's nice to see. I like this quite a lot. So, as we get on along in the game, that does mean that Kendi, he was pathing top to down for a reason. He knows that the bot lane is going to have prio early, can fight for it. So it's going to be bot scuttle for him. We'll just see. I want to see what Udyr does, if he's going to concede that, because he can play through the Syndra. So both teams are going to be confident with adjacent lanes here.
Also of note, it's Cleanse Flash for Luger, so needing to keep safe here. Up against Guardian Exhaust Flash for Poom, so very defensive otherwise, but kind of using maybe this early advantage here in this positioning with that quick level 2 to at least get some little advantages here in the 2v2. But Contracts is here. Don't think he's going to get anything done, but he is at least going to show some presence here, and Kenvi already spotted it.
I was about to say, I don't like this from Contracts. Going through Krugs, and then now he's going for a bot lane gank. It should not work. It should not work versus Braum Vayne. He's completely now pushed away from bot scuttle, and Lilia wants to be able to get top scuttle as well. You're already seeing the Udyr ping top scuttle instantly. He wants to just give away this one and fight for another one. So it's always risky trying to fight for scuttle through bot lane, just because scuttle comes up at 315. It's a really difficult timer to hit. So if you're not going to get the bot lane gank, it doesn't turn into a kill. Your jungler just gets behind. But in this case, he's able to get top scuttle, so it's even.
All right, well, JoJoPune also feeling the Halo Blades AD pressure in the 1v1, as Demonte did do some decent damage, but Contracts, at least with the beeline to top side, does get that Scuttle Crab done. Now looking for that top lane, as you mentioned, but he is on top of a ward right now. So going to go over to these Krugs instead, looking for the wrap, but Kenvi already on time here as Contract's going to start this camp up, and it's ill-advised, going to have to juke everything, does indeed not get Q, but Kenvi here with maybe more than enough damage. Contract's going to be forced to flash. It's a big one over the wall there, actually, as Contracts finds maximum distance away and will get out with his life.
What a thick wall to flash over.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Tricked them too, so that was great job there. Contract saw the Udyr, the Scion that is, when he was in the bush, so he was like, all right, I'm not, as long as I don't get hit up by that, I'm going to be fine. And that's a huge wave that Tony Top was stacking too, so Tenacity at some point had to go back and pick up the wave, so you hate to lose flash for it, but at least Udyr does not go down.
Yeah, Contract's holding on to his life, not getting first blooded. I believe EG have gotten first blood in both the games so far. The Contract's wanting to maintain that first blood rate for the side and does have to keep farming. Unfortunately, just didn't have anything extra to farm. Was looking maybe top, was looking at the enemy Krug, but all that attention towards that bottom side early means he just has to take what's left at this point.
Pastry, I got a question for you.
All right.
Guess what the first blood percentage is, ballpark, for EG Academy throughout Proving Grounds?
Throughout Proving Grounds?
Yeah.
80%.
Close. 90%.
Jeez!
They're getting it all the time. It's insane. So, yeah, it feels like that CLG vibe where you get into a game and Contracts already has a target on you. So, let's see if they're able to get something like that in this game. It was getting close for them to be the victim of a first blood, but this time around, they still have that going for them.
Yeah, I can see it. Lots of first bloods, good level 1s. It's CLG that got that level 1, right? The one, this last split? Yeah.
CLG level 1s were always
the fastest first blood ever. Did you know that? That was wild.
Ever?
Not that
Damn.
after. Yeah, the first blood ever.
Oh, that was when they just ran it right down and got
Yeah. That little run it down mid.
got Jizuke coming back. That was great. I love that one. That one's a highlight reel. That one will stay in the the Hall of Fame of the LCS for plays.
The world record. Alrighty, bottom side is 100 Thieves. First dragon of the first dragon of the series is what I'm trying to say. Not the first dragon of the series. Can be more than enough control between Poom and Luger's 2v2. In fact, Luger is like smashing in CS right now. 15 up in this 2v2. Kenby with the control going to take down the dragon. Contract's level 6, which is nice, but Kenby's got the dragon. Going to feel just as good there as 100 Thieves have a much better start to this game.
It's great. You know, when we've seen first pick Udyrs in the past, I know people have gotten sick and tired of that pick. As a nice trade being thrown bot lane. But whenever you see like a pick stay in the meta for so long, that's when theory crafting comes into play. And even though this is the Vayne bot lane, we've seen Viper and Darshan pick up Vayne top lane. We've been seeing more Vayne top when they see a melee top lane plus an Udyr jungle. Like, how are they going to die in a gank, right? So like, I loved that element of it, and it brings Vayne back into the meta. So late game, we've already kind of harped on how 100 Thieves are going to be successful. But man, early game, it's just hard. I said EGA, if they wanted to win this game, it has to be through dragon stacking. But it goes back to the first point, which is how do they do that when the adjacent lanes of dragon are just so strong?
Yeah, again, I think it has to be playing through mid, and JoJoPuan is doing well. 10 CS ahead of Devontae. Tony Top also has a ton of pressure. He's actually massively winning in CS right now up against Tenacity. This is more of what we expected in this matchup, with Tony's predilection for Gnar and Tenacity playing a lot more of these tanks and just being the weak side player for the team. So you need to find a way to convert your solo lane pressure into something bigger, whether that's taking the rift and getting plates, whether that's, you know, pulling them down out of their lanes and going bot or going to dragon. We'll have to see, because we can see just in the 2v2 alone, like Shoyu and Mr. Quest are not getting anywhere if this lane's isolated.
Exactly. And I think this is, you know, Tony Top, you know, classic Tony Top, where we'll talk about it soon enough. It seems like a play's about to start here.
Contract zooming on in. Has been started off by Rakan. Luger going to get ignited, but not enough yet to kill him. Still has flash. Did use the cleanse. Now does now flash. Excuse me. The 100 Thieves still holding on to first blood here. Still available here in game 3.
I guess he didn't know the flash timer on Udyr there. You had to respect it. And it was one of those moments where, you know, the meta these days, you don't know what the rune page we're seeing. And in this case, he just didn't want to take the risk, so he flashes out just to be safe. But otherwise, he would have been safe regardless. But great gank from Contract. He's just struggling to find any play, and that was at least one of them.
Yeah, it does go bot, which is maybe a bit surprising, but at least reinforcing the weak lane. I think it's often a common decision junglers have to make. Do I, go after my strong lane where I think it's easier to maybe make something happen? Or do I, reinforce my weaker lane here? And often it depends on a myriad of factors here, in Contracts making the right decisions that time, with Kenby not being there on the bottom side of the map, is able to get the flash and then run up top side and get this Rift Herald as well. So starting to materialize a little bit more of the advantage that EG are looking for here. Curious to see where Contracts want to drop this Herald, because I think he has two very good targets here in either solo lane.
And the two plays are linked, because you can't get Rift Herald if you don't have control of bot lane. So his timing around ganking bot lane was him knowing that if he didn't go there, Luger and Poom would just have control throughout. And it would be Poom that would be rotating up top lane. Then you just don't have a Rift Herald timer. So Contracts recognizes that under a really, I would say, tough environment this game, I think Contracts has been making good decisions.
And that is one of the things that's important, right? And I think something every jungler kind of gets through experience. I think it's something that Kenby has kind of grown into as he's played more and more on this stage. And I think Contracts is kind of like learning and relearning in some aspects, despite being a player that's been around for quite a bit longer. You can be flashy and mechanical and be aggressive, and that's a great trait to have in a player in any role. And I think we've seen a lot of NA junglers with that killer instinct, but you still got to make good decisions as a jungler, right? And I think that's something you learn over a much longer period of time. Whereas, if you're the sickly Sin guy that kicks people into your team, if you're good at that already, you're not going to get better at that over time. You can already do that mechanical thing.
And people always forget that a player like him, even though he is experienced and has been at LCS, he's still 21. He's still incredibly young and has a long career ahead of them. So I just love the fact that he's grown so much. But JoJoPuan, get out of there.
Yeah, had to flash. Very respectful there. But Damonte putting the pressure on despite being down in CS still pretty significantly. Jojipun doesn't have enough in the tank to, find a stun and get an ulti down, so Damonte will live for his aggression.
Yeah.
And,
but like that goes back to the earlier kind of point that I was making, where I think a lot of people give, hell for players who sure have had experiences, but do not know what development means. Like development, you can develop at any age you are, like honestly, and at any stage of your career. We've seen players like Reckless only get better, and even when he's at the top of his game, comes at Worlds and looks insane. So right environment, and it looks like Contracts is in the right environment, is really excelling here and has been incredible in Proving Grounds.
Yeah, I think if Cloud9 has taught us anything, it's a lot about the environment, right? That kind of molds and builds the players up, who they're surrounded with, their teammates, their coaches. And I do think that actually both these organizations, 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses, with both academy teams and junior teams right below them, plus, of course, their LCS teams, I think they've done a really good job of fostering good development environments. And I think that's why players like Kemby have ascended so quickly up into academy, from the 100 Thieves Next junior team. Why Contracts is looking so much better despite having the, not a great start to his season, and is kind of continuing to grow as a player. As speaking of Contracts, does take the Dragon down and pop the Herald bottom side. He's giving them all the leads.
Yeah, he's just throwing everything down here. He knows that Lilia is going to be top side, so Tony Top does have to be aware of that and play safely so he doesn't get dove. But this now is going to be turret plates being taken off the bot lane turret. Syndra is looking to come down, has problems now, wants to go back into lane. I know we don't have sight of it, but she was under threat from the Lilia and the Tristana, so she's found a way back into lane.
Yeah, let me tell you, Flashless Syndra, just above Flashless Cassio as far as how useless you are in any sort of gank situation. So Jojipun just has to play the spacing, needs to keep the wave pushed up. That's the most efficient way he's going to get the information he needs. As Damonte is unrelenting in his push for the minion waves towards the enemy tower. In fact, Jojipun's even going to tank this cannon here and maybe try and push this one back a little bit slower.
Yeah.
Ooh, picks it up too. Very fancy. All right, never mind. Keeping the wave again. Tristana's going to keep doing this, so you can't afford to really hold the wave because wave's already dead. Jojipun going to maybe pick up another one here. Doesn't have it just yet, I imagine. Ah, there it goes. Now clears out the wave and joins Mr. Quest.
Looking at the map right now, knowing that there's no objective up, the objective is essentially vision. Trying to get more control for your lane. It seems like 100 Thieves wanted to put their vision topside, so Sion feels a little bit more at ease at farming. I know he's been getting pelted pretty heavily, but he still has 4 turret plates. Of course, now turret plates are down, but his turret is healthy. So he's been doing his job up there in the top lane. Ooh, this is nice. So Damonte is just trying to hover down here. He doesn't know that this is warded. It's been warded for some time. But for a while this game, they've been going back and forth into the red side jungle and clearing it. So he's feeling more confident than he should.
Ooh, onto Jojipun actually, but ulti's out. Does get the stun, but that's just going to have to be a defensive maneuver as Damonte, never mind, actually getting assaulted here as Contracts was on the wraparound. So speedy with the chem tank popped, and Contracts might
doesn't stop.
He dives around the turret. He's going for it. Bear slap smite. See you later. Damonte is going to get first blooded by Contracts.
He was smelling a bear, and he was right. Contracts just sped right up to him. As you said, flash, slap, dead. Damonte tried for a play and got played.
That is, like you said, Udi's been around for a while in the meta now. I mean, people are like, I wish the meta would change. Udi is just the right level of hilarity for me as a champion, right? Such old school champion, very straightforward. I think in some ways, that's good for readability because, if you're newer to League of Legends, it's very easy to figure out what Udi does, whereas some of the other champions are a bit more complex. Just that, the comical nature of popping Chemtech and running at someone and stunning them. It's too funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I think the only thing that would rival it is literally old Nunu that had just the whole that dumb walk that you would see. And so back in the days in Season 2, when he just had the oracles and you had to chase him, get a kill on him or something, and he just wouldn't die because he's insanely fast, I was like, please get this champion out of here. But so fun to look at as a champion. But yeah, Udyr is hilarious.
I'd be okay with Nunu coming back. Actually, Nunu's so different now. I forgot.
He's really
Nunu's
different.
Still pretty sweet.
They
Nunu's
changed
one
him
of
from
those
dumb
champions.
to cute.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, he was. I miss old Nunu, but I mean, current Nunu is maybe good. I feel like he like terrorizes solo queue, and then no one ever plays him on stage. It's kind of like Elise.
Yeah.
There's a period where she was like absolutely dominating everyone in solo queue, but no one ever wanted to pick her on stage, at least in North America. And we'll just never know. So perhaps Nunu's floating around there.
Pretty
beating
rough time farming and scaling. Like he's always been that kind of player. And in solo queue, he's a terror because he's a nonstop ganker. And what are you gonna do about that? Like people just don't respect that. So, but yeah, like we're gonna pause. Happens, guys. We'll get more information as it comes. But taking a look at the draft, I know we were talking about the Udyr, and there's good reason. It finally got picked. It was off the ban list at some point because they didn't want to deal with the Nidalee. And here we are. He is slapping. It kind of goes back to, I know I mentioned the Udyr, but the Syndra is something that we see versus AD picks like Lucian, like Tristana, that even if they get their first like trade pattern off, stun, throw, or at least ulti, stun, and then at that point, if they follow it up with an extra Q, you actually just lose the trade versus the Syndra. And if she has any friends out there like the Udyr at that moment, you lose. So it's a hard way to play through. You have to play really creatively versus it.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting point in this game where the ADs are trying to scale to 5v5s and 100 Thieves want to get there as comfortably as they can. And EG are going to have this mid-game opportunity where the maps are hopefully for them a bit more open. They've got the Chemtank Udyr. They've got some pressure somewhere else, whether that's Tony top on a side lane, whether that's them balled up somewhere in mid or the other side lane. And then they've got this Syndra kind of ready to throw stuns out for a pick where you need to start leaning on that to get you enough gold to actually win the 5v5s, because you can't get away anymore, at least in League, unless you massively commit to it being your only plan, basically, to not having any sort of team fight, which is, that's part of the reason the objectives got made more powerful, is to draw more people to them so the game can have more action. And you aren't going to get to, not have to fight them with 2 ADs with 2 items, right? That's just not going to happen. But hopefully you have enough map advantage, enough gold to be able to fight them slightly more fairly, because as you've said, Raz, if they fight straight up even gold 5v5 front to back, you can't win.
That's why I'm looking at, I know last game I was looking at Jojo Pion. This game I'm looking at Tony Top. Tony Top is going to be dictating when they fight, how they fight. He's in a great matchup and he's been forward consistently in the lane, just trying to chip at turret. And once the map opens up and he's able to dictate side lane, force Sion to be in lane, and then he gets the first move. And if he's managing his Narbar well enough, then they should usually be starting in a 4v5. Theoretically speaking, the timer should be there for him. So, that's something that I think he needs to be, I'm sure he's aware of, and what Evil Geniuses has to play around.
Yeah, I think also Rakan is a champion we haven't looked at too much because, again, the 2v2 hasn't really left the bottom lane yet, but certainly there's options there for Rakan to make a play, so kind of curious to see what that happens. Also, the counterplay is there for 100 Thieves as well. One of the things I actually really like about this team is that when they're down in gold, they make some concerted efforts to get gold, but they don't overcommit to try and get it, right? They're not throwing themselves at a Baron, seeing if something happens. They're actually pretty intelligently using what tools they have to get picks here and there to just at least keep the game even. And counterpunch champions like Lilia is so good in those situations. And if you're ahead, it's even better if Kenvi finds the angles.
Yeah, and I've worked with Golden Glue, Coach Golden Glue.
Coach Golden Glue now.
In the past. And he's definitely someone that can tell the young players, of course, DeMonte's in there as well, so he can reinforce it of as I said earlier, you don't have to give everything. If you are far behind, find your moments to get back into the game through a great engage. You can line it up what that would look like, and also what vision you need to do that. One thing that Golden Glue has been great at, being able to say, hey, you know what, this is the vision that I want, and communicate that to his team, so that if you're in an advantage, you play around those wards around objectives. If you're behind, he knows or at least can communicate to his team what words he wants, so you don't just concede your entire jungle if you feel if you can contest it. So 100 Thieves for sure are a team that when they are behind are very damn good at picking their fights, as you said. And I think that's a good reason for it.
And I guess the other side was like, we saw what happened. EG were behind at least in one game. And they just sent it, right? They were just trying every single 5v5, every objective that was up. They tried to make a play. I think what I'm more curious about now in this situation is they have like a lead, but it's not a big lead. And they will need to do work to grow that lead further to get to the point they want to be without this comp. So I'm curious, like we've seen they can win from ahead, right? They're very good at that.
Yep.
And from behind, they'll maybe play a similar way where they could maybe be a bit more reserved and a bit more calculated. Can they open up an advantage without overstepping their bounds, right? That's kind of the test this game. Just as a let you know what the issue is, though, EG are apparently dealing with some glare issues on their monitor. They're working on it. Turns out it's pretty hard to play the game when you can't see, so very reasonable. We want to make sure they can figure it out, but we should be back in the game in a couple minutes, so you'll be sticking with us for a few, but as soon as the game is back, we'll be right back in there. Don't have to worry about that.
There you go. That reminds me of finals. LCS finals. Send that outside. Dealing with the glare. Good. The problem that they're dealing that inside, I mean, like, you got to have curtains, guys. I don't know where the glare is coming from, but yeah, that's going to suck. Of course, you want to delay the game until you get something in place for that. So understandable. Don't want to be dealing with the outside effects of that.
I think kind of my other question looking at these comps again, though, is like, what's the plan against Vayne? Right? Because you kind of said that, like, one of the reasons you pick Vayne here is because she can punish Udyr so well, because Udyr's whole job is to run on top of a carry and, like, stun them or kill them, or at least deal enough so the rest of the team can catch up and do that. But Vayne is just so slippery and so good at keeping away from the likes of Udyr. So, like, given that EG don't have that many ways to lock an individual champion down, how are you supposed to deal with Luger in a 5v5?
So, talking about the timer that the Gnar has, so it could be like a numbers advantage, what I said earlier. But you're right about like Rakan, Syndra, and specifically Kai'Sa. They can assassinate the Vayne if they find an opportunity. So, like if Gnar is in the back line based off the work that he did prior, and they did a lot, got a lot of good vision, so he can get a flank. Excellent. Kai'Sa has a way into the fight now, can assassinate the Vayne, and there's nothing in 100 Thieves comp that's hard CC that it can instantly push that back. If you're looking at it, you can say Tristana. Tristana Ultimate is actually one. But Braum has that difficulty. Sion has that difficulty. So, like, as a Kai'Sa, if you find a way into the back line with the Rakan Ultimate or Syndra or whatever pick that you have there, basically you're trying to break it up so you're not always 5 people in front of 100 Thieves comp. That's the way you would do it. So really, yeah, Mystiquez from Evil Genius is pretty much their ticket.
I do like your point about Kai'Sa as well, because I think it's one of the reasons she's so good is that, like, her ulti is like completely paradigm breaking as an AD, right? Like the whole thing about an AD is that when you position well and output damage, your damage output is so high that you take over a game. And like, yes, there've been ADs with mobility before, like Twitch has formerly invisibility, now camouflage. Like there have been ways for ADs to like give themselves a little bit of mobility. Ezreal springs to mind actually as like the most obvious of the mobile AD carries, but no AD is allowed to like swap sides of a team fight. Yeah. Except Kai'Sa.
While having that invisibility you were talking about, literally.
Oh yeah,
both.
That's right.
So like, she's pretty damn safe in team fights because she can use it defensively, the ulti, or her E when it's evolved. Like, she's a really safe pick. This is the engage that you saw from the Tristana. Ulti with her Q, had enough orbs, a guaranteed stun. Thankfully, Damonte was able to jump out before the extra Q came down, but he knew he was in a bad position. I think he had vision. Yeah, he had a ward to catch out contracts, but at that point, you're alone. It's just gonna happen. You can do this for a long time. So, great eyes from contracts and great defensive, like just a pushback from Jojo Pyun to make that all happen.
Yeah, it took the longest path around, but knew he had more than enough speed to get him over to Damonte, who's still behind very significantly in CS, as Jojo Pyun is going back to perhaps finish off that mythic item that he hasn't gotten just yet. Damonte defending his jungle, though, as contracts is feeling a little bit more emboldened for some of these invades. Now that he's got the chem tank, he's pretty slippery. Gonna blast cone out of there as Shoryu and Mr. Quest are gonna go ahead and take down the tower, and now contract's gonna get Blue Smiter put to sleep. Tony Top's here with no rage. 3v3 though, JoJoPyun's in there as well. Damonte going to be the target, almost enough damage. Tony Top finds him with the final auto, and he's going to die to Kenvi. No, the boomerang is going to give him the double kill. He escapes with his life, as now Contracts is going to be forced to fight the rest of 100 Thieves, and they'll take 2 kills, and Tony somehow got... Oh, he died. Somehow died. That's so depresso.
What a slobber knocker that one. That was probably the funniest fight I've seen in a long time. When Kenvi was alive with single-digit HP, and Rift Trail just give him the left hook. It actually just smacked him upside the head. So let's take a second look at that. You know, initially it was a good engage on towards Contracts, but they didn't have anyone there to fully engage on that, to fully double down. And then take a look at Kenvi on this back one. Low HP, Rift Trail says, what's up?
I have no idea how Tony died. I guess something ticked over and he just fell to the ground, and 2 kills cleaned up there for Poom and Tenacity at the end of it all. So a 3v2 trade at the end of the day in favor of 100 Thieves Academy. So feeling good here. Dragon split as well. Tower up there for EG as the bottom side did manage to pick up that structure. And continuing their pressure here in mid lane. As the Infernal Dragon is up, so it could be a 5v5 in short order. Tony Top ready with the TP, but Tenacity walking in already as 100 Thieves are going to start the objective.
It's looking good for 100 Thieves. These fights have been back and forth, and also earlier on, Damonte making that mistake of going all in. Like, they can play a very boring game and win. If you have Lilia and Braum, a lot of times the ways you start fights, not very exciting, very limited, right? But it's how you are on major objectives and make it difficult for the enemy team to walk into you. So that's what they just need to focus on. So you'll see a pretty slow game. It should be a very low kill count. It's just going to be a gentleman's handshake, guys. It's just how it's going to be. And Soul is going to be the ultimate goal for 100 Thieves.
Oh, Damonte, I think he took a quick water break. Just hitting the towel there.
There we go.
Right clicks it, hands off keyboard, no problem. Plenty of time to, uncap the water bottle. As JoJoPyun ulted up by Poom, put to sleep, but not even needed. Mr. Quest trying to save him. And there's the Q in from Sion. Kenvi actually going to get the kill once again. It was the dot that killed Tony Top before. It's going to be the Lilia passive that does it again. And Shoryu explodes thanks to Damonte. And now Rakan left for dead. Dances back to Tony Top. Tony Top almost in Mega. And he's going to keep his Rakan safe as he W's over the wall. But 100 Thieves continuing to rack up kills here. Gold is even, but not now as Damonte takes down the mid outer.
What a punishment. Rift Trail thrown down, but Tenacity, bit of a playmaker, nice flash Q. They just answered so well versus EG and are able to get the turret themselves. So honestly, EG is just lucky this happened in 19 minutes and not 20. Else that would just be a Baron.
All right, well, Contracts knows what's up. There's a Lilia down here, continuing to eat harassment there from the E's that roll on in. Does have to, again, kind of arrest control back of this game. Mid lane outer certainly going to be the first port of call here for EGA. As we'll watch this one again, it's just, trying to punish here in mid and getting punished.
Yeah, JoJoPyun just was in a really bad position. That's just a fact. And then Tenacity, seeing the low HPR on that one, is able to get that kill. With the tick damage, of course, of Lilia. It's just going to be what happens. But really good answer for 100 Thieves, and it's something we've talked about every game up until now. Is just that if they feel like they're in a bad position, in this case they were, they had a gold lead, sure, but they found a bad position and made the best out of it. Great engage to punish EG on that.
All right, well, EG finally with the I think third revisit here in mid are going to take down that tower, but Damonte already looking for that trade here in top side, so there's going to be 3 towers for 3 here. Gold lead very close, actually 500 gold ahead of 100 Thieves Academy, which is good news for their carries that are still looking to pick up a bit more farm. Contracts trying to cancel this recall. Doesn't have flash. They did have it, in fact, but didn't have the vision to get the slap in. So Damonte is going to be safe for now.
Man, this is getting a little hard. This is one of those games where even though the gold is really close, compositionally difficult, but they found their Lilia pick.
Oh, good pick here on a Kenvi. It's going to be Rakan that starts it off, and Contracts is trying to finish the job. It's not enough damage. Phoenix Dance, please. Doesn't get it done. Damonte kicks him back there with the ulti. Is almost the explosion. Deals the final blow to Rakan, but alive for now as Kenvi walks away alongside the enemy support. And 100 Thieves still barreling down mid here. Luga unafraid, despite all the attention that's been happening here in these fights.
Yeah, this is just a really insane position from 100 Thieves. Remember, a minute 30 until next Dragon. They have full control of enemy red side jungle. They haven't dipped into it, but they've had control for so long that there's no wards there from EG. So it feels like that's going to be a third dragon for them now, unless anything happens here. Good back timing, a minute 10, you know, back on the map, and EG needs to find something. I don't think they do Baron fast enough, and it is warded, so they'll have extra heads up if, you know, EG does walk over the ward to do it. So in a pretty tough position, I think.
Think so. I think you have to try and 5v5. Maybe if Tony can get this bottom wave pushed out, then he can look to wrap around the back.
Yeah.
And flank. But we have talked about, you know, Tony's side lane pressure and what it could potentially amount to. And unfortunately for EGA, it hasn't been much yet. Just not enough time, not enough space to push out these lanes and really threaten something else. Instead, it's Luga finishing his second item now with the Phantom Dancer done. Gonna have everything at the ready here for 100 Thieves. They look to take down this third dragon for themselves.
Yeah, they're just sitting in their vision. And you're right. I would have loved to have seen Tony on side lane more consistently. Don't look for the fights as aggressively. I honestly, it's one of those things where it feels bad to just having a split push and the enemy team just completely take your vision and live inside your jungle. And when you feel like you're strong enough through your jungler, you want to call for those fights. But they're going to have 5 people barrel through mid, get control now of mid lane so they can hop straight into Fog of War and start clearing out the vision that 100 Thieves had for so long.
Also, JoJoPyun went back and TP'd right back in after buying item number 2. So kind of using that TP to get here first, get here aggressively. Knows that this fight's going to be really important. Damonte potentially could get caught here, but they don't know where he is yet. And Damonte's actually just barely escaped.
It's Infernal
through the river.
It's Infernal Rift, so honestly, he's not in a concerned position. You can just walk straight through where the walls would be around blue buff. So he doesn't want to flank. He wants to come in 5-man front to back. That should be a 100 Thieves game plan. Tenacity just wants to walk straight in. Who cares? If you have your squad right there, next wave, you should be willing to walk straight into the line bush. Oh, actually, they're going to say to hell with that. They're going straight for Baron. Remember, this means a lot for 100 Thieves, means very little for EG to be on Dragon.
All right, so instead they'll move Shoyu down to take it. It's pretty standard practice here to just split off one person to finish off the Baron. Can't be the smite, of course, because jungler needs to be the contest for Baron. Tenacity wrapping around. Shoyu getting a little low, but not threatened here. No one's going to check, and actually enough control there for EG to take that dragon away.
I mean, EG just played that out really well. Even when I thought that 100 Thieves would be turning to Baron themselves and then look for a fight, they weren't willing to pull that trigger, which I'm surprised about. I think they're strong enough to do it, but they didn't want to throw the game potentially at that fight. So EG, great job. They put 5 people through mid. They knew that if 100 Thieves did that themselves, then there would be a problem. But Tristana was on side lane, bot lane while that happened, so it was easier for EGA to do that.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get, you know, into the area first, right? For the front of the fight is now the long way around, which is exactly what you want if you're on the EG side.
People knock the NAA RAM, but especially when an objective is up, mid control is really, really needed. If Tristana's on side lane when you have people who are barreling and getting control through mid lane wave, then she's just cut off from her team, and she is not a good flanker at all. She needs to reposition like we saw. So what happened was you just lose all the vision that you've worked for 2 minutes to attain. So this is one of those moments where if you look back on it as a team, you know, Damonte should just be mid, but here we go. It seems like it's EG looking for a fight.
Oh, Tony missing that ulti. Damonte just shooting him. I think he got knocked back, actually, was the reason why it didn't hit. But now the sleep is going to happen. Going to have to flash away, but that's not going to be enough. Tony just dead here. Oh, the warp's so nice onto Damonte. Try and break it down. He's going to get the trade kill. Very well played for Tony Top, but it is 1-for-1 as Contracts zooming down to the bottom side of the map. Dodges that first Q, and now the Rakan's going to be here first, and Contracts knows he's got his prey locked down. It's a shutdown for the Udyr.
Yeah, now we're starting to lose the focus here from 100 Thieves. Trying to dive the Gnar that's Mega Gnar. I've seen that far too many times, and once again did not work out for the aggressors. Long death timers too. This should be a Baron for EG.
Yeah, Kenvi dying is the additional one they didn't want to pick up here, but Contracts is going to basically go top to bot, back to top, and start Baron up here for his team. It's no AD just yet. Never mind, Shoyu's right there behind them. And Tenacity going to have to get himself in there. Tony Top TPing in. It's going to be a 5v4 around the Baron. See how much help 100 Thieves get from the objective, but EG are just committed to burning this down. They know there's no smite. They just take it here. Tony going to play zone defense. And now zone offense. In there we go. Tenacity going to get interrupted as he tries to ulti out of the way and now knocked into the wall and killed. It's going to be yet another kill for EG as Contract's already on for the next one. Finds the stun. In goes Tony. Wallops in there. Ulti out onto the Braum and Jojo Pyun going to collect the last hit.
It just keeps happening. One after another, 100 Thieves just fall. After the first mistake, Baron is gone. It was a 5v3. Tristana sure TP'd back mid when she was alive, but at that point, Baron is gone. Let them have it. Play defensively. You should be confident with how you're playing from behind throughout the series. But they give away a few more kills, and now EG are the ones laughing with Baron, and now can be on the map. 10-second death timer on Tenacity means that first punch should be there for EG.
All right, well, Damonte going to be first of this wave at least. He's trying to get it pushed back as far as he can. Going to have to contain with Baroned up minions thanks to Rakan being in the area. So going to take even longer. And so watch this one again. EG just smashing down this Baron. And Tony Top's like, Baron's already done. I'm going back in here for seconds.
Yes, so honestly, what are you going to do? You're a Vayne, you're a Braum, you're a Sion. What's the goal here? Versus 5 people. They should really challenge themselves to think about what they're actually going to accomplish. They weren't going to steal, of course. They were trying to play for fight, but Tristana was never going to be there on time. Perhaps you could say slow down the enemy team so she can get there on time, but that's never going to be an effective strategy versus a team that should just get Baron and run. So we see these moments too many times from 100 Thieves Academy, and it's biting them.
Yeah, certainly that spot. A tough one there as EG get extra on top of the Baron. They were already guaranteed thanks to their 2 kills on the bottom side of the map about a minute before that. Now 2,000 gold ahead and counting as they've got a minute left to play with here of this Baron buff here. 100 Thieves again trying for that counterplay. But basically they've decided to push the lane Damonte wanted to push because he's the most irritating as far as wave clear goes. And through to the inhib we may be as Tenacity going to have to go through the gate to try and protect it. EG not overcommitting though.
Oh, where are we going?
Beaten in there. Oh, goodness. Rakan's right in there. And now going to get stunned up and the shot is going to go off and he gets killed by Luger. Seems like an oopsie there. It's now 5v4 in favor of 100 Thieves. And EG, what do you do now? How do you get out of this? You're just getting surrounded. The only way out is forward, but that's towards the enemy base. But forward they must go. All right.
Walking
100
forward
Thieves chasing EG
wave
towards their own base.
That sounds like a song. Walking forward. Oh, they actually do have a minion wave. Wait a minute. They can't just power through.
Inhib as well. They're going to try and get it, but they have to fight their way out of here. Double sleep there for Kenvi. Joji Poon diving in as Tony Top, excuse me, that's going in as Joji Poon has failed, and now Tony about to go mega. But he is going to fall. Shoyu dies to Tenacity and Contracts. He's diving back in there. He's trying to make something happen. He knows he's not going to get out alive, but he's not going to get out with any extra kills either. As Tony back onto Damonte. Doesn't miss, doesn't hit the E, and now I think he's just dead. Over the top we go. Blast Cone away to safety, and Damonte should be able to chase this nice and easy. Tony Top hops away, but nothing to hop onto is Damonte with the long range and the rocket jump coming up in 2 seconds. Gives it up. Not enough vision. No need to chase. They'll just take the kills they got.
What a messy way for EG to play that one out, right? They had the world in front of them, but it's 100 Thieves that now get the dragon. And even in that fight, got to give a lot of credit to how they pulled that one off. We didn't get to see the initial portion of it. I guess this is the opportunity now. So what happened in this engage? Not a lot of follow-up, and Rakan is instantly dead. Oh no, you hate to see it.
And then, like, now they're trapped, right? Like,
yeah.
This looks silly, but that's because EG have nowhere to go.
Yeah, they were just too trigger happy on the engage, and a lot of the times when you're on a pick that, you know, it's squishy, has a lot of movement speed, you can blank. You know, you think you have the engage and your team can follow up, but they're just not there with it, and you die instantly there. So it was an opportunity where EG thinks they can end the game with that fight. It's over. They have minion wave, they have Baron, they have inhibitor that's right in front of them, but it's just one mistake, and 100 Thieves comes out ahead of that.
And they didn't even get the inhib raz. Shoyu ulted in the fight instead of killing the inhib.
Happens.
They could have easily taken it at any point, but they're trying to fight their way out instead. Unfortunately for them, just kept hitting a dead end. They don't even get that. In fact, 100 Thieves to add insult to injury. They got the Dragon off the back of that as well. So they're on Soul Point, 3 minutes 45 until the Infernal Soul could be theirs if they claim the Dragon. And EG now out of Baron, going to have to find another way to get leverage in this game. You're only up, a little over 1,000 gold here. And the Lilia and the 2 ADs are just getting stronger and stronger.
What a wild game and an insane series, right? It's like, I cannot guess how this game is going to go. Thought it was at some point very clear that 100 Thieves with their comp was going to win. Then EG comes out with that huge play bot lane, Baron, 3 picks mid. Like, you're like, wait a second. Now it feels like it's guaranteed they'll take that. Another, basically a chuck of the ball back to 100 Thieves. And Luger, once again, is fed on this vein. I mean, like, he's having 2 amazing games in a row where he's going to be the person that's going to be puncturing the front line.
Yeah, there does seem to be a pretty strong correlation between Luger not dying and 100 Thieves Academy winning the game.
Yeah, facts.
Makes sense. Not a KDA player by any means, just a good player, especially in spots where he needs to be positioned properly. The fight's going to brew, though, as EG looks to go in, but Tenacity just bearing the brunt of that engage and shaking it off. Poom and Tenacity, not the targets you're looking for on the EG side if you're engaging, but they do some damage, they make some space. They are looking for Baron once again, as you can tell by their positioning, but Contracts maybe going to have to go back before that happens. And Dragon up in 2 minutes as well. EG don't have a lot of time. Tenacity, though, maybe caught out, but not enough there. In fact, Mr. Quest is going into the backside trying to fight Amonte. Did get a QSS popped, I believe. Yes, indeed, he did. As now Kenby over the top. Oh, he's looking for a big old sleep. The stasis is there. He finds 2, but the damage is good enough. Shoyu going to take him out. Demonte almost dead as Shoyu zooms in for the next kill, but now he's got to fight Luger 1v2, and that's not fair at all. Tony Top about to go Mega, does hop around, but now Jojo Pyun going to run. He does get out safely, but again, another team fight win. 100 Thieves up 3 for 2.
It's slowly and slowly going back into 100 Thieves court. That was a nice play from Kenby. He knew he was sacrificing himself, but he knew he was doing it for the bigger picture. Luger untouched. Demonte was looking good that fight, and now this is the Baron play that'll put them back.
Goodness.
Double teleport.
All in, Raz. Gonna push it into the middle of the Baron pit and see what happens here. You can't steal, you have to fight. Poom's already spotted you. Luger's just off the Baron. No, he's back on the Baron. They've got no smite on either side, if I just remember now. 2v3. Luger, though, going to be the real threat. Do they have anyone else that can join? Rakan's barreling up mid, but is so far away. They bought enough time to get them off the Baron. That might be what they were actually intending for, but now you got to get out alive. Jojo
Round up that
carrying
Syndra.
the spear. Tenacity taking some damage. Stun is good. Toan Top's in there. Gets the scoop, but only onto one. Demonte around the side. He's going to get the kill onto Jojo Pyun, and now Mr. Quest over the top dances away. Poom is dead to Contracts, though, but now Contracts is asleep, and he's dead as Baron. Surely we'll go to 100 Thieves Academy this time as Luger's on a rampage. They take the crab, but what else can he do? It's 4v2 with no jungler as 100 Thieves are going to take this Baron.
We're back to step 1. EG tried. Double teleport, and they got caught in vision. So I was like, wait a second, you got 2 people in no man's land? We'll chase that one too. Contracts was also there trying to save Private Ryan, Private Jojo Pyun. But they all die for it, and that's another Baron now. 100 Thieves are now just comfortably in the driver's seat.
Gets worse, Raz. Infernal Soul's up in 2 seconds.
It's
Could
happening.
not be timed any better for 100 Thieves. Is Demonte going to take the red buff too? Oh boy.
What a game. Honestly, as much as I said comfortably, I feel like somehow, some way, EG will do something. But no, this feels like as long as they play it out, textbook way, 100 Thieves, too strong. And you're right. Luger, no deaths.
No textbooks. No textbooks, Raz. Just Contract zooming in. Luger, oh, he gets stunned. That's the kill they need. Troy is in there. Ulti out of Brom's going to keep him safe, but Luger still under threat. Mr. Quest trying so hard to move himself onto the backline threat, but Luger just will not be killed. He's unstoppable. Contract in again. There's a double kill. Are you kidding me? Sure, you still trying to hunt him down. Oh, but he gets exploded by the vein. Jojo Pyun with the ulti, but the GA is going to keep him safe. And now the real death. Can they get the kill? Jojo Pyun can get the shutdown, but Demonte going to zoom in onto Tony Top, and Tenacity is trying to find what he can. No ulti though, and I think they're going to get out alive there. You need to sphere Tenacity. Please, Jojo Pyun, stop throwing spheres Restfizz toward Demonte. Tony Top's going to get out of there. And now the Boomerang Slow is there, but Demonte is the real threat. JoJoPyun, sorry, trying to keep him back, but Tenacity cooling down the ulti. Is it fast enough? Probably not. The slow W is good. There's the next Q now lining up for Demonte as he rocket jumps over. Tenacity still moving in, but Tony Top's out. But now JoJoPyun, is he dead? He is dead as Demonte's going to look for 2. Gets 1, get a rocket jump in. There's the second 100 Thieves. That's almost everybody. Somehow running all the way down bottom lane.
Who do you credit all of that for? King Luger. King Luger. What the hell, man? This guy kited back the entire map. Please show me the replay for that. Please.
Oh, yes. I will accept any and all Luger replays from this game. Here we go.
Like,
all right, so here's where we're going to start.
It starts once again with 100 Thieves, you know, pressing 2 forward with their players, but he kites back with the help of Braum. Remember, he even pivots forward to get the stun, and when he knows he can get the kill on towards the Rakan, instantly nails it. Same with the Udyr. And now, if you're trying to chase him down, the one thing we forgot, he has GA. He can buy for time for Tristana and for the Scion to come out and help. And so he buys enough time for the squad to come in. Really beautiful play.
Oh, goodness. And then this great escape. Well,
yeah, let's speed this one on up.
I mean, JoJoPyun is like, I just need to save the stun for Tristana, but if I don't slow the Scion, he's going to catch us. And Demonte finally finds the angle, and it's all good to go. And then speeds in on the Scion train just at the end for a bit of fun. And that play took us from the Raptor Bait Contracts is currently clearing vision in to behind the enemy, behind the red side blue buff.
Yep.
All the way back to the tier 2 in the bottom lane on EG's side of the map. So
my apologies.
Quite the journey we've been on.
I said King Luger. I meant Kral Luger. This man, the Turkish prince, this guy, oh, okay, all right. They almost caught off Scion there, but at the end, he is playing so sensationally this series. He has his Infinity Edge now. There's a fight happening. Where's EG going? I think they're trying to take down the Tristana that's in top lane. Let's send the chopper over there, please.
I mean, that has kind of been the overall plan for EGA so far this series, is kill Demonte as many times as possible. Unfortunately, I think Demonte has cottoned on to this fact, so he's playing quite slyly there in top lane, just trying to apply some pressure. Contracts wants to flash on Luger more than anything in the world, but it won't do anything. He's got Cleanse and a bunch of buddies around him, including a Braum. Troyu trying to fire back here. Tenacity, not like a bad target, not the best target, but softer than you're going to get, given that he's the one closest to your Kai'Sa at all times. Tony Top, though, barreling in. Once again, the Scion ulti gets him out of jail for free. And EG still without a kill in the last few minutes.
All right. Looks like this is going to be an Elder Dragon game. You know, the dreaded Elder game when you have a banger already, but you wanted to make it a 5-star banger. It should be in 100 Thieves goalpost. You know, they have the Fed carries. They have a humongous tank. They have Infernal Soul. But I just don't know anymore. I have no idea, Pastry.
You know what? I like to, you know, let the game play itself from this point. You know, it's always interesting to see what happens. 100 Thieves obviously in the lead. They're up like 6,000 gold. Luger's got like almost full items. They've got Infernal. Canvy just bought a Cosmic Drive because, like, you know, that's how much money he has. Scion is like somehow not that tanky, but also pretty tanky. Like, he doesn't have that much gold, even though he's almost even on CS versus Tony, who is smashing him in the landing phase. Oh, this is it. This is the play, huh?
It's the fresh Gouda.
Contracts is just any brush is a good brush if it's behind the enemy.
True.
That's what he's decided on here.
That is a factual
Dance
statement.
changing. Look at him zoom in. Oh, he's so speedy. It's so funny. But why? Like, Demonte rocket jump buff is out. Luger has like all the bodyguards in the cleanse. He's about to get flash back up. Somebody's got a face check. It's going to be Poom, but he's pretty tanky. Now Tenacity, again, going to push forward here. Tony Top, looking for the angle. Oh, my goodness. Dash through the team thanks to the rocket jump. Almost got a mass charm there. But now Canvy looking for the spin and win. Demonte already on a rampage, taking out Tony, and it's curtains here for EGA. Nothing left alive. The carries are there. The encounter engage is good. And Shoryu into stasis will die. Contract's the only one left alive. And Demonte's on the hunt to try and find the bear. And Contracts is speeding out safely. Is he going to get spotted here by Canvy? He is. Oh, throwing random E's into the brush. It feels bad, man. Contracts props phase rush, runs away.
It's
now
a race.
fighting back around here. He's just doing what he can. It's the base versus Contracts life. He's trying to fight Canvey for as best he can. But the base is going to die perhaps before he does. As 100 Thieves going to move in to take out the enemy Nexus. As Contracts, will he live?
Oh!
I think he will.
Yeah,
he will. All right, there we go. Nexus 100 Thieves Academy. Contracts keeps himself from getting death number 7. For 100 Thieves Academy, after game 1, kind of getting beaten up in the early game and losing pretty handily, getting beaten up in the early game in game 2 as well, but recovering. This game, just a stellar performance, honestly. Game was a lot closer. They knew what they wanted to do, and just every fight that was thrown at them from like 20 minutes onwards felt like 100 Thieves were in the driver's seat the whole time.
Yeah, and it's the 100 Thieves potential that people talk about when they go down the roster, right? And it feels like it's coming together. Even though beginning of Proving Grounds, they were the 3rd seed versus the 11th seed of EG. EG should have been able to do that during the Academy split, right? And they got it together. And it feels like now we're seeing 100 Thieves get it together. This is a really close series. And even though 100 Thieves are at match point, people have to keep tuning in. This is an insane back and forth. And it feels like even with the mistakes that are being made by Evil Geniuses Academy, that they're still able to buckle down, take those fights. I'm looking towards Jojo Pyun and Contracts to get us back into this series.
Yeah, look, I'm going to tell you one thing, Raz. Teams aren't going to play any slower. Let's put it that way, because the pace has been pretty high and the games have been fun. With 100 Thieves Academy now ahead in our series, we are going to be heading into a break, but when we return, we'll be back with the Analyst Desk.
Welcome back to LCS Proving Grounds, presented by Verizon. Hey, guess what? We wrapped up game number 3. 100 Thieves Academy take the lead against Evil Geniuses Academy. And we're going to be heading into a game decider soon enough, unless EGA manage to pull out a victory for themselves. Let's go ahead and talk about this game. It started off at a different pace than the previous two, for sure, Kangas, but 100 Thieves coming out with a different look.
Well, first off, I want to say I'm just happy that Joshi's also incorrect with his prediction now. So we're in this one together for the rest of the series. But you're right. Kenvi actually had a much better early game compared to those first two that we saw. This is what happens when you have an early kind of even playing field throughout the jungle, and actually leading the charge here with an aggressive early play. This was what, like 16 minutes in, we didn't see very much action. There's only one kill that happened where Contracts picked up that first blood, but awesome to see that the young blood in 100 Thieves Academy still want to make plays happen. Demonte goes out very early, but then it's the rest of them, Poom, Tenacity, Kenvi, that actually pull this one out. And I mean, that was the biggest concern that I had based on games 1 and 2, was the fact that Contracts just continually was out jungling. And I was worried going through the rest of the series that would continue. Happy to see that Kenvi found a way to stabilize and not let it get out of control.
While it wasn't exactly a lead for the jungler right there at the start, he definitely made work with it for the rest of the game. If we're looking a bit to the EG side, though, being that both of you did predict them to win the overall series, Joshi, what are some things that you noted about the way they played out and executed the mid game?
Well, I think this whole thing was watching how 100 Thieves wanted to fight or not fight. Evil Geniuses have kind of made a name for themselves and being really good at establishing control around these dragons and these barons. And this kind of highlights this, right? Look how much control they have over this area. It is impossible for 100 Thieves to walk in. And eventually, 100 Thieves, after Demonte rejoins them, they see, I don't think we can actually do this. I think we just have to leave. And I was really excited to see that. They know they have Vayne, they have Tristana, they don't need to fight right now. A fight in 5-10 minutes is going to be massively to their advantage. And they lead here, giving over the dragon, knowing it's not going to be putting Evil Geniuses all that closer to the Infernal Soul. And because of that, they live to fight another day.
Yeah, and with that moment, as you're saying, Joshi, there was the action soon to follow, despite that inaction there in the mid lane for the moment. Kangas, we finally started to see some more of those global objective focused upon.
Well, it's funny because Joshi's saying 100 Thieves know when to back off. They also sometimes go a little too far forward, and we did see that play out here too. So while, yes, throughout the game, they were playing safe most of the time, they do then make kind of uncharacteristic overplay right here, getting very aggressive on Tony top on the bot side, and they don't actually get the kill. They lose 2 members here, and then at the end of this, we'll see that they're able to, or Evil Geniuses turn it around and actually get that Baron for this play. So it's pretty rough to see. Like, this was like a minute after Joshi was praising them for backing up and not playing too aggressive, that then they go a little too aggressive.
Yeah, it's the duality of 100 Thieves. We're going to go right into another spot where this is where they can't really fight, right? They haven't really scaled up. They don't have their jungler. The Baron's already too low. And where before we praise them for just walking away, there's no rule in League of Legends that says you have to watch your opponent take an objective. They just get too close. And with enough engaged tools between Mystiquus and Contracts just running at the enemy team, they're able to find this really, really big lead. But we kind of lead up to this, right? We see they do want to fight here. They don't want to fight here. Eventually, this team does scale up really well with Tristana, Vayne, and Sion, and when they want to take a fight, they know how to take it.
But despite these moments for EG Academy, despite rolling right into 100 Thieves immediately after the Baron, there was some difficulty. Kangas, why do you think that was?
Yeah, there's that awkward play around the bottom inhibitor where, unfortunately, Mystiquest gets caught out. He dies very early. It's a 4v5, and Evil Genius have nowhere to go except for further up the lane and go for that inhibitor. And I feel like I chalk this up to just inexperience in shot calling and the players, because in my mind, you clearly just say, okay, we're probably not going to win this team fight. Just take the inhibitor, right? Just get the objective. At least they lose. They don't get the inhibitor, and they also all get wiped after regardless. So kind of rough to see that kind of decision making come in from the squad, and I worry that that's a sign of tilt in the series right now.
And there's young guns on the opposite side too, right, Joshi? Where 100 Thieves were really starting to accelerate once they kind of got their feet under them.
Yeah, it's the difference between knowing you're going to be playing a long game and kind of having a long game forced upon you. Eventually, 100 Thieves recognize with Kennedy, kind of this guy that we've been highlighting quite a bit, suddenly realizing, hey, every fight is winning. It's my favorite call in League of Legends. Just do whatever it takes to get a team fight started. And while this isn't their cleanest team fight for the rest of the game, it is the one that does highlight, hey, we can do pretty much whatever. And as long as we get aggression going, as long as Luger and Damonte are able to free hit, it doesn't matter what the other team does. We are going to win every single fight because we have scaled.
100 Thieves Academy didn't have many engage options with that composition. They had Scion and they had the Lilia. So seeing Kenvi see that angle, flash in, say, I'm just sacrificing myself for the engage of the team. As long as we start the fight, I can trust my team to carry it. And I mean, when we were thinking about players to highlight some of those young guns, we talked about Tenacity as being somebody that we think is going to be a superstar of Academy going forward. Kenvi, in my mind, was right below Joshi. We actually kind of disagreed on that slightly, but we edged towards Tenacity for the pre-show. But I think Kenvi is also a player that we absolutely need to keep our eyes on. And I think it's so incredible he's able to have two really rough games, game 1 and 2, getting put behind heavily, but then come back with mentality in game number 3 and have that kind of performance. So props to you, Kenvi. Keep it up, man.
You love to see a mentality strong enough for him to be willing to flash forward and make those plays for the team. Going into our next game, though, EG Academy have elected to remain here on blue side. Joshi, it feels like that last game, though, a lot of it came down to very individual moments. You know, both of them kind of had it in their grasp each time. So mentally speaking, on the side of EG, what do you want to see here? Them kind of roll through and try and trust their instincts, or change it up?
I would like to see a little bit more early game focus once again, right? They picked the Syndra in the mid lane, and Jojo Pyun played fine on it, right? He did his job for the most part. Unfortunately, these small mistakes, as these games do go long, are rather draining, and the easiest way to get out of that funk is to just kill them, right? You just come out the gate swinging, you find a bunch of momentum immediately, and I think can do that, say, hey, that one was not what we were expecting, this isn't what 100 Thieves normally plays, let's try and get them back into their wheelhouse, which we have demonstrated that we can beat.
Kanga's thoughts for EGA to push this to game 5?
I know I predicted an EG win, but I'm out. I'm calling it right now. I think 100 Thieves got them downloaded. I think that this is going to be the complete opposite of what I was expecting, because we have seen 100 Thieves win with Tenacity carrying through the top lane. Now we've seen them win with Tenacity on a tank Scion. And keep in mind, they've banned Gnar like their last 14 plus games. I want to say like 20 plus throughout the entire Academy season. They do not like playing against Gnar. I don't know if it's a Tenacity thing or a team thing, but they just learned that they don't have to ban Gnar anymore. So I think that this really opens things up for 100 Thieves Academy. And I gotta edge out to them. I know you asked, how does EG push it to game 5, but hope's diminishing on my end.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because this game 4 isn't typically where we look at series to be decided, but I think game 4 really is going to decide the series. We'll see if EG can bounce back, if they can be a bit more aggressive early on, make sure that Contracts is able to find some opportunities to be aggressive, or if 100 Thieves have kind of broken Evil Geniuses and finally taken them down. They beat EGP 3-0 yesterday. If they can take down the big brother in Evil Geniuses Academy today 3-1, that's going to be a big confidence boost as we start looking towards the rest of the bracket.
We'll see how it goes. Kanga's got to tell you, though, once it's in the graphic, you can't change your prediction. Everyone can check the VOD. But everybody will keep it locked here on the live channel for now. We're going to go into a potential match point for 100 Thieves Academy after this break that, as Raz said at the end of that cast, you do not want to miss this series. Stay tuned.
welcome back to the LCS Proving Grounds. We are one game away, potentially, from crowning a winner here in this series. 100 Thieves find themselves up 2-1, whereas after, despite EGA actually opening the series well and continuing to show some very good-looking aggression, it just hasn't been enough against Prince Luger.
Yep. I mean, I'll upgrade him to King Luger.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, he's been getting it done this series. Like when they're winning, as you said earlier, he's deathless. He's having phenomenal games throughout this series. EG Academy needs an answer, and so I don't think the Udyr will be a pick here, especially after dealing with Braum in general. I think that's just it really. If the enemy team plays well, it's hard to ever play that matchup up. So that's probably going to be a ban from. Actually, we'll see. I don't think EGA would be banning that.
Yeah, just leave it.
It's gonna be tough to call.
I think Contracts feels comfortable playing against Udyr. That would be my guess. And like Kennedy has definitely shown a tendency towards like the slower like level 6 junglers, right? So like Nocturne, Lilia, those kind of Hecarim, sorry, was the other one. Those kind of junglers where like they just kind of farm and then scale into the mid game, as Hecarim's going to actually get banned there, interestingly. We'll see. Rel, I like as a ban continuing. Nidalee, of course, is going to get banned away from Contracts. That's the only loss so far for 100 Thieves in this series. In fact, it was their last 2 losses as well. And much to maybe our surprise, it is going to be Udyr once again here for Contracts.
I think the change then is that they're going to give a priority to their bot lane. That they will go into the 4-5, allowing them to pick at least something so they don't get seemingly double countered. So that's where I think the update will come in. We'll see. 100 Thieves should just stick to the same game plan. Exactly. Go straight towards the Tristana and Lilia. It is still a flex for the Tristana, so it can go bot lane still. It just depends on what happens when we get to the 4-5.
Yeah, definitely like telegraphs mid a little bit more because like Lilia leaves the door open, but of course you can always flex it. So Luger will be more than happy to play that champion. Has played it already, actually, which is, I think, best KDA of the series so far. And Xayah back for Shoyu. This is actually a pick I really liked for him in game number 1. Glad he's revisiting it here. Pretty reliable against the stuff that 100 Thieves Academy want to throw at you, right? Like lots of Scions, lots of engage ultis.
Yeah.
It's been Nocturne in previous games. It will likely be Scion in this game here as the Nara is locked in for Tony once again. And I imagine Tenacity will just take the Scion here.
I guess it makes him easier for them to fight front to back a little bit more. So that's one thing. Gives him an extra defensive tool for sure. Another thing as well is that the combination of Xayah Rakan is now in play, where Mystique ended us playing the Rakan last time around, and it was just hard for him to go into these team fights. I think it's going to be a little bit easier with Xayah if he decides to go back to that pick. So let's see what 100 Thieves Academy ends up doing if they leave that pick open.
I think also just like taking a regular range AD just is a bit healthier here. I think like Kai'Sa has struggled, given the comps that EGA are drafting, to like hit relevant targets. Like Kai'Sa's value is like someone CCs the backline and you dive in on them and assassinate them as an AD, right? When you have to hit Scion the whole team fight, it just like feels awful. So like Xayah's just a little bit better at playing like front to back team fights, I guess. And I think if you're not drafting like Hecarim or like big engage ultis like Nautilus, right? Or if you don't get Alistar potentially, like if you don't have ways to actually activate Kai'Sa's ultimate, she's way worse when you have to fight 5v5 front to back. So yeah, I like the shifts in general. I actually even like the Kai'Sa ban here because I think she is very powerful. Syndra Orianna, the phase 2 bans here for 100 Thieves. So we'll see what EG answer with here and how 100 Thieves want to approach the rest of this game. Like the Vayne looked so good in the last game. I wonder if they're going to take it here again. If they do want to take it, do you take it here 4th or do you maybe wait? In fact, never mind. EG Academy have decided that it was good and they don't want to give it to you again.
Yeah, so that's not going to be on the table. But here we go. It is going to be an instant lock on the Jinx. Jinx was so good. And internationally, it's been a first pick, actually. So teams are just feeling so confident on the pick. But remember that it's usually tagged with a Tahm Kench or a Thresh. So I think this is them saying that we're going to have a Thresh here in the bot lane. I want to see what EG Academy does here. If they pick the Thresh up themselves, remember, Mystique is a great Thresh player. So looks like they're just going to... I think they'd want to lock it in. Maybe they just give it so he can pick his own champion. If they're feeling that confident about it. Oh, actually. Maybe they're just going to give that over to the Jinx.
I mean, it's funny, right? This is the kind of game where, like, giving like a champion like Thresh, like a comfort pick, a champion that lots of players have like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of games on. But instead go for the Alistar. It will be Braum once again for Poom, which is like great into this 2v2, right? You're so happy to be able to counterpick Alistar here as Braum. So it does look like you're giving away the Thresh in that scenario, but I actually think just giving Poom counterpick ends up being a bit more valuable here.
Yeah, and yeah, for the matchup, Braum is definitely good. And also just going back to what was strong about game 1, it's still a double AD carry with a Braum. So like the team fights are very straightforward and who they should be targeting. It's basically going to be on whoever Poom targets there. And it's just great front to back. The only concern is just that if they ever mess up, if that ever comes into play, Jinx is so much more vulnerable than Vayne. It's just, that's right. Why you often see the Jinx and the Aphelios like tagged with a Tahm Kench or a Thresh. It's just simply like if there's ever a mistake that ends up happening, you will get whisked away. You're fine. But it's not going to be the case here. I think Luger is just really confident. He doesn't care. Honestly, when you're going through game after game and you're just styling like that, you shouldn't give a damn. You should be confident in how you're playing. So I like that level of confidence from him.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see like the same level of kiting from like enemy Raptor to like your blue buff maybe in this game. Because if Jinx is like kiting, it's usually forward because they're passive proc because you killed somebody. So I definitely think it's going to be a different game. Luger certainly is going to have to position like the best he has all series, and his positioning has been amazing.
Yeah.
So I certainly have confidence in him. But we'll see. EG going to have to try and kill Luger as many times as possible, and I'm curious to see if Jojo, Pune, and Contracts can combine a little bit more. Actually, also with Tony, right, who has been a very consistent laning threat in the 1v1 with his Gnar, right, has shown he can get prio and advantages in his lane, but can they lean on that a little bit more to convert into something bigger in the mid game? Because I think the biggest problem stylistically in this matchup is 100 Thieves are happy to play slow, and EGA just want to play quickly. Whether they should or not, they want to. So they just kind of need to get the ball rolling in the early game, or I feel like they don't have enough confidence and like personal momentum to push through into the game and open it up. So even though Udyr had a much slower game last time, I think they're going to play a little bit more aggressively with these picks to try and get some sort of lead early. Because they definitely, if nothing else, like that confidence matters so much.
Yeah, they definitely have the tools for it. Absolutely. If you have an Alistar, you have a Sylas, and an Udyr, like fights are not going to be an issue. And mid lane's absolutely volatile. Sylas versus Tristana, with Ignite, of course, on the Tristana. There's definitely going to be a fight for prio. And if Udyr finds a good time to gank with a flash timer, you for sure will see Jojo Pyun look for that engage. So keep an eye out in mid lane. And that's going to be how Contracts will basically play out this map. Look mid first, and then move out.
Yeah, Ignite's a spicy one. Often very common in like solo queue, or anytime you want to, just kind of let off some steam and try and kill the enemy mid laner. I believe Demonte took teleport last game. I'm assuming this Ignite is because Sylas W is really frustrating.
Yep.
Having a way to deal with that directly makes a lot of sense. But
absolutely,
definitely a different choice here for Demonte, showing, really showing that he's looking to dominate the 1v1.
Yeah, and I expect the difference between this game and last game, like versus a Syndra, it is difficult. She has ways to fight back in an all-in from an AD, right? Going up against the Sylas, you are much more comfortable playing the lane lame and just being concerned about the jungler. It's a melee matchup, so here we go.
Yeah, and there's the jungler, and there's the jump away. Demonte with the insta thumbs up. Jojo Pyun responds in kind. But at least, Contract's just being there and doing it quickly, because you're probably not going to get the kill, but you do need to give some space. Oh, he's back again.
All right, guys.
I take it all back. Flash is forced. Oh, they're in there. The stun lands over. The thumbs up have already been given, and it's first blood to Jojo Pyun.
All right, guys. Please stop. The wave was frozen, and or at least was pushing towards Jojo Pyun. It looked like. I'll have to look back at that, but the fact that he jumped out, he thought he was in the clear, and he thought Udyr was going to go for top scuttle crab. Not happening. A literal run around the wall just to go from behind him. So kind of crazy. Double flash for the kill on Tristana.
Yeah, and now no flash on Demonte. So going to have to rely on that rocket jump only for any future pressure. Of course, that pressure can be returned in kind by Kenvi. Or perhaps Poom if he gets out of this lane. We'll have to see. But right now, it's Shoyu and Mr. Kiss actually feeling a little bit better here in the 2v2, right? Pushing up a little bit more. Jinx, needs a bit of time to kind of scale up to really, massacre the waves with her rocket launcher. As we'll watch this one again. Like you said, Damonte's like feeling fine here, and he's just,
it sucks.
He is fine this time.
The wave was pushing away from him initially, though right now he could be a little bit more comfortable, but he thought the Udyr was going straight towards the, Skull Crab that would be up at some point, but he found that window, double flash. This time around, they call for it, and they get the kill on Damonte.
I like it. Again, a lot of early pressure on Damonte was kind of the story of the advantages they built in game 1 and 2. So I like that they're going back to it here. And I imagine the contracts will be here again in short order. Will Canvi be back? I don't know. But now Jojo Pun feeling confident enough in the 1v1 to go in, but just barely losing out on that trade with this couple of extra orders. But here's Contracts and Canvi immediately going to join in. The Contracts trying to rip down the Lilia, just zooming in with a phase rush.
This is the difficulty. Like, sometimes it's the most obvious 2v2 that you can't really deal with, right? They knew the entire game plan for EGA was going to be this. Go straight mid. But Lilia is feeling uncomfortable because if there's an Abscond the duck onwards Lilia, she's dead. They both know that they can be easy targets, so they have to concede this.
And even Mr. KS roaming up as well. So, thumbs up given.
Yep.
Jojo Pun, very fun character. Oh, is he rapping to try and do it again?
Oh my god, guys.
I thought he was invading.
Let's calm down, guys.
All right, one stun. Oh, that's a bad time for Contracts. Just straight up killed. Finally punished for his transgressions.
Anyone that sees that will definitely sympathize with Damonte. Like, get the hell away from me. Gets the pick finally on Contracts, who's been hovering mid for a long time. So there we go. They pick up the kill, and they pick up the first dragon of the game.
Yeah, one of the things that's unfortunate for the EG side is like when you commit that hard to a situation, they're at least forcing 100 Thieves to also be there, right? So it's kind of a stalemate. As soon as that tension breaks, whoever won the exchange immediately takes everything else that's been there for the 2 minutes that both junglers have been forcibly dancing around mid lane. So it's not just that kill, which is nice. It is that early dragon. It is now kind of that release of the tension that was there in mid lane.
Yeah.
And now that the control and everything just feels a whole lot better. Kenvi's already level 6. And everything in kind of these sidelines was already pretty balanced. So there wasn't anything else to really do, which I think is why the junglers were there for so long.
Yeah, and Jojo Pion just had like that freeze for so long. So like Lilia had to break it. And Udyr knew that. But yep, justice was done on the Rift today. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, Ignite Tristana.
Yep.
Lilia and friends. Contracts is duly punished. But I imagine he's going to be back, so we'll find out in a few moments if he is indeed going to revisit. Already level 6 for both junglers. Those Contracts at least didn't fall too far behind. Just giving a bit of extra gold over to Lilia. Plus the XP from dying. Other than that, it's just A-OK. Should be able to farm up pretty rapidly as a result. Also, Merc trades this game because plenty of CC with the Braum and co. So unfortunately, no cooldown boots for the Udyr, which we'd love to see, but needs to get the necessary mercs here.
And the same win condition that happened last game is the same problem this game, where I do think EGA want to play for Dragon Soul, but I think it's difficult. Like bot lane, reason why they got the support counter pick for the Braum was literally to have full control of the bot lane matchup. And all right, set him up.
Kenvi's in there. Oh, that was so fun. He flashed out to the side, but it's not going to matter. Maybe it will. Here's Jojo Pun, baby. Going to get the sleep of his own. And now Kenvi going to get chased down, but Damonte's here as well. And Tenacity's asleep. He's going to get walled, but Damonte is with the roam first. He's going to take him out in the 3v2.
It looked sick initially.
Yeah,
from
great.
Tony top, yeah, but and also like from Jojo Pion coming in, but yep, numbers advantage. Damonte's there immediately to help out, so it was a 3v2 that they had to deal with.
Yeah, Contracts not in the area, unfortunately. So it is indeed 100 Thieves kill there in the top side of the map as Tony Top at least survives the encounter. Jojo Pion not so lucky. As we'll watch this one again.
Initially from Tony Top, being able to flash away from the Sion ulti when he saw that, amazing. Like, that should be a highlight reel if they win the fight. But nope, Tristana's there. Udyr is a while away, so he thought he can get there in time, flash over the wall to help out if they had the time. Not true. So, yeah, it blows. If you're Tony Top, you put in all that effort, it looks good, and you still take an L.
And this is the thing, right? When you play so aggressively as a mid-jungle duo, which is so fun to watch, when it doesn't work, you fall further and further behind with each failed attempt, right? And Kenvi is just like casually farming between. Now he's straight invading with his support. Like, Contrax has to go back and clean out these waves. And Jojopyun, like, he doesn't want to be in a 1v1 with Tristana. Nothing happens. Like, she pushes you in, you re-clear the wave, and then, like, I don't know, it happens again. Or maybe you go to a side lane. You know, Jojopyun wants to be out of here, pressuring in other lanes, setting up plays with his jungler. And instead, he's forced to hang out as his turret, slap Damonte with his chains, and Poom's here to counter gank, and nothing's fun at all. Oh, never mind. Here comes the reinforcements. Poom is going to be the target. Door is going up, but Contrax is here this time, and Kenvi's going to be a little too late. It's Jojopyun grabbing the kill.
All right, that was a great roam from the Alistar there, just giving confidence. And Jojopyun saw that, stole the Braum multi. Really well done. Damonte, of course, couldn't get the full lockdown on Satchel to have a reset on his jump, so he had to flash out. Overall, a great way to fight back. And Damonte!
He's dead. Yeah, nowhere to go. Great old by Damonte to push him back initially, but I don't even know if we wanted to be tethered in there. Only had his Alistar by his side. Maybe hoped Kenvi had walked much further away than he had. But instead, going to be the setup under Damonte. They're not done. Surely now they're done. Oh, he's asleep. He's going to get the kill, but now it could be trouble. No ulti. Kenvi didn't press the button and Contrax gets out.
For how volatile this game is, I want to remind people, this is do or die, and Shoryu is dead. What happened?
2v1 kill. Luger has no health, but he still has more than Shoryu, which is unfortunate.
Both sums down from Luger, so I'd imagine that that's Poom tagging him and Luger going all out to get the kill. Like, I'm sure we'll see that, but as I said, it's do or die. 100 Thieves wins this game. They lock themselves into a game versus No Org tomorrow. It's the gauntlet. So EG have to do their best here to stay alive, take 2 more wins to have that. So it seems wild that it's so up in the air.
Oh, it's a brawl. Oh, Poom.
Auto attack tag? Yeah. Is he flashing? Yeah, he's flashing. Yeah, I mean, he thought he had it.
He tried to go to the bush. Couldn't quite get in there. If you're not sure where, by the way, this is something that's very well known among the League community, but sometimes worth bringing up. If there's an auto attack that's going to hit you and you flash out of vision, it's not going to hit you. Which is why you often see the supports do cool things like ward brushes mid-play to make sure they can keep autoing or auto can follow. And I think that's what Shoryu was trying to do there, but just a bit short on the flash there. And even if he'd made it, I don't know if he would have been able to finally outplay. It was very cool to watch, but it is Luger and Poom that collect the kill at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think the worst thing about all of this so far, this game for EG Academy, is how undisciplined we are. We're seeing okay.
Yeet. Just running it in right there. Oh, here's Kenvi though. He's just flash queuing in. It just doesn't matter. He's ignited, maybe dead. Tries to find the zap, doesn't get the W. Kenvi's just dead. Very sloppy play on both sides. And EG, they're going to capitalize.
Yeah, I mean, they're the biggest winner on that one. Just as I was talking about undisciplined play from EG, where they're making solo hero plays, 100 Thieves says we can do that too. Big pickup for EG. And now they have a gold lead. Slight, but they still have a gold lead versus 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I think the biggest recommendation would be, like, if a team is playing, like, really fast and loose against you, do not sink to their level in an attempt to beat them. Probably not going to work, especially when teams are close in skill. So, 100 Thieves still on the back there. Jojopyun, though, forced to flash. Damonte continuing his aggression here. He has the Gale Force online, so a ton of individual power right now for Damonte.
Yeah, Ignite and Ultimate. So yeah, full engage from 100 Thieves. It's the teleport coming through from EG Academy, and Sion can't follow. So, I mean, like, this just goes back to the basics of if you're making a play, ask yourself if you have TP advantage or not. If you can't, then don't do it.
And they did not, as you noted. So up about 1,000 gold, excuse me, for EGA. Tony top, as we check in, is slightly ahead, but actually, I don't know what's happened in top lane, but Tenacity has done a much better job of keeping up in that 1v1 lane, so I'm not sure if there's been a bit of additional tension or he's just adjusting to the matchup as they play it out, but definitely not going to be as much of a factor as it could have been in the last game, where Tony had more of an advantage. It has really just been all about this mid and jungle, right, on the EGA side. Contracts and Jojo Poon are going to have to continue to find plays. Perhaps Alistar joining them is going to be the thing that tips the fight in their favor in a lot of cases. Don't worry, they're just hanging out. This is like Rampage World Tour.
True. Where's the building? I guess he's throwing a building, literally. I guess
yes.
With that skin, that makes sense that Nar is.
That's what I think of with the Nar skin.
All right, where are we going?
Zooming in.
Oh, I guess Sion's running in.
Oh, mid lane we're going. Sion distracted us there, but that is Jojo Poon once again combining with Contracts for the kill. Jukes out the Brawl multi, baby. And they're getting away with it. Again, it's kind of scrappy, Raz, but EG are doing what they can to get these kills.
Yeah, it's hard to catch out literally the play that'll happen. Remember, this is match point here for 100 Thieves. The objective here is clearly going to be Rift Herald, where 100 Thieves should be confident that with how well and how far ahead that Luger and Pum are, just play through your dual lane and you should have Rift Herald. But down goes Demonte, and down goes that hope. Should be a Rift Herald there for Contracts.
And he's actually wanting more.
No, they're
top lane
it.
for the gank.
Yeah, the dive is coming. Run, Kenvi, catch him.
He's 4 legs, not fast enough. Oh, Jojo Poon's already here, of course, but now they're going to have to run. It's 4v4. Jinx ulti hits Contracts. That's a good target for them to hit. Oh, baby! 3-man pulverize. Kenvi going golden. Going to go to sleep. Is everybody? It's Kenvi. He found the biggest play of his life. But still, it might not be enough as Contracts is setting up Demonte. Jojo Poon trying to fight it out, but now Luger and Demonte left alive again. And now 2v2 is Tony top sitting with a strike break. He can afford to flash out of Luger. No dive here. Do not do it. Don't back away. All right, everybody chill out. And a brawl erupts in top side, and I think just barely 100 Thieves won the trade.
Yep, I mean, they're going to have to get out of there. But that was quite the journey from Tony. Tony top from the bot lane, knew there was a dive happening top lane, so he traveled mid and was there for the very end of it. So, what in the world, man? I think it was great from 100 Thieves that they were there for this dive, so it wasn't over-commitment, but Mysticus saw this 3-man headbutt pulverize, ults too, so he can soak some DPS, but an even better ult from the Lilia, so Luger has the space to fight front to back.
And then Jojo finishes off the Braum, but Contracts that can't get in, right? He's like, yep, 2 ADs, can't do anything. And back at it again. Keep going for it here with the extension.
I was
I was
scared there.
Everyone relax.
I was like, is this the same thing that we're seeing? All right, now we're back.
All right, to EG's credit, they did get a tower in top lane, right? That was actually what triggered all of that. They were trying to dive, they zoned them off, they had enough to finish off the tower, they got it, they wanted more, so they extended the play through. And then what we just saw happen, which was a lot of kills traded back and forth. Where we are now, though, is this dragon is spawning. 100 Thieves already have 2. Gonna make it 3 in short order. This is gonna be a very quick Cloud Soul at this rate.
Yeah,
like
this is
EG don't want to contest here.
Yeah, much better from 100 Thieves here. So they're gonna have to fight for Soul, even though Cloud Soul is not the most enticing. With having double AD carry with Cloud, just the movement speed that you have with it is nice to have, but it's not game ending. It's not game ending like Mountain Soul. It's not game ending like Infernal or Ocean. So this might go the distance. It might turn into an Elder type. So did we miss this? I think we did. This was during the last replay. I wonder if it turns into anything. Yeah, Mysticus is just going to die here. That's why they have the dragon.
Basically, yeah. All right, makes sense. Well, it's 2 deaths now for the Alistar. Still close in kills, still up in gold on the EG side, but very much down in Dragon. So that long-term investment for 100 Thieves, looking for that payoff here. Mythic now finished with Tenacity. In fact, Mythic's done for almost everybody. It's the supports that are, as expected, lagging behind. The contract's not done with the Rift Herald in hand.
Yeah. Just for the viewers out there, your brain, empty it out. Action, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, all the greatest action stars, put that in there instead. Because this game, all rhyme, reason out the window. I mean, I love this play overall, what we're seeing from Evil Geniuses. But it's just a brawl to potentially end this series. If 100 Thieves get the better of it, it does move them towards the series tomorrow, the losers bracket finals versus No.org. But Evil Geniuses are often in that mud too.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, right, like have actually been on pretty long losers runs. 100 Thieves, of course, started theirs a bit earlier to EG because they lost to them in the upper bracket as they're looking to take this tower. Should be able to get it. Alistar is just in a world of pain. Has to ulti to not get Jinx ultied. Tony Top around the side's been caught by Kenvi. No, that's Lilia dead. Excuse me, it's the other way around. Got a little bit confused, but JoJoPuan still on the Lilia ulti now. It's Tony Top finding the play under the enemy jungler. And as I correct myself, we'll watch the fight continue. Tony Top, hyper speed up. No one to catch. Gets queued by Braum, so EG gonna maybe take the mid tier 2 here, popping the Herald for that play.
Yeah, and they can try and go for the inner turret as well. I don't know how long they want to go for this one. It should not turn into an inhibitor, so okay, so they're just gonna let the Rift Herald rock out there, get vision, end up basing. Great teleport there from JoJoPuan, because I can see what 100 Thieves were trying to do there. Kenvi just wanted to tank and try and get a little bit of damage onto Mystique, as he was so close to dying there to the Jinx ultimate. But man, you always forget how much value that Alistar ultimate has. Just keeps him alive.
Yeah, even when you don't have that much health, still enough damage reduction to not get executed by Jinx Rocket, which, by the way, does a lot of damage. And as we've discussed in the previous Sylas game, Sylas scales real nice when you steal enemy ultis, as long as you build up enough AP. So with how frustrated people get by Jinx ultimate, I know junglers especially have a particular distaste for their teammates standing too close to the Baron against the enemy Jinx.
It's
Styles stolen Jinx ulti is a piece of work if he finds the right angle.
I've actually never seen it, so that would be really nice to see.
It's a lot of damage.
If anything, just give me that, at least one instance of it, so I can see how much damage we're talking here. But man, yeah, I think from a skilling perspective, sure. He just needs to be on side lane, I think, permanently with Gnar and Sylas, because if they're ever in a gentleman's agreement, 5v5, staring down 100 Thieves, they lose. But Mystique is looking for a pick on Luger.
The traps are there. Oh, forces the flash now. Combos in. Contracts follows through. Beautifully played by EG.
That's it. That's the pick. 30-second death timer on Luger. Baron buff for you. Dragon's coming up in a minute. That is what you wanted to get yourself firmly an advantage.
Yeah, EG needed a big swing here in this game, and this is the kind of thing they're after. Gonna have to make it quick though, because as you mentioned, that Dragon Soul's coming back up at 45 seconds now, but the Baron is dead. 100 Thieves do not contest because they know the real price is gonna be this soul, but Damonte is gonna do a little bit of demolition here in mid lane while he's at it. And EG are gonna reset and then run straight to this Dragon because they know they have to fight 5v5 for this.
Yeah, I mean, look at the gold advantage too. 3k gold lead for Evil Geniuses. While you still have to be afraid of the comp that 100 Thieves have, like, the big winners here is, as you said, JoJoPuan and Shoryu. So they should feel confident in being able to take this Dragon and prolonging the game.
Oh, Luca's top lane. There's no way they're fighting for this Dragon.
Yep. In fact, they're sending Tristana up there too, guys. We are in the opposite direction.
All right, well, conservative, but I think a line that 100 Thieves should be just fine taking here. Just getting the farm again. Like, at least them getting the first Dragon of the game, their first Cloud Dragon. Not that significant. Loses them time on the Baron buff, so I think a pretty safe but pretty worthwhile trade here. This is not the one you want, though. JoJoPuan is lining up potential assassination onto Damonte. Good ulti, mid-air with the rocket jump as Damonte gets maximum disengage, and JoJoPuan will go back to the wave instead.
Yep, playing it smart. And remember, anything that happens there, teleport from Tony Top can follow. We've seen how messy these games, I mean, scrappy, I would say the best word for it, these games can get. So, good look there from JoJoPuan to find an advantage on side lane.
Yeah, I think you said it already, Raz, but you know, Sylas is going to be anchored to these side lanes along, as well as this Gnar in a lot of cases here. I like this 4-1 though for EG. Going to have to be a bit careful in the ensuing 5v4, though JoJoPuan can TP in. They need to buy enough space and time to be able to do that if that's what they want to opt into. I think instead they're going to take the minute 15 they have left on Baron and just let JoJo take this free tower in topside.
Yep.
But I do think that you just cannot let ADs get free side lane farm, right? That's like a dream for someone like Tristana. So having the Sylas with the ability to punish is really nice in this kind of spot.
Yeah, she's getting she's closing in on LDR. I do think she needs more time to get there. Once she does hit that, it is going to be much harder for Contracts and Tony Top to deal with her. But man, I mean, just take a look at this. We're dealing with a Baron buff here. It's just so much gold going into the pockets. Let's see what the Baron power play is. 2,000 gold, 2,300. That Evil Genius Academy was picking up this while already having a 3K gold lead. So it's just piling up.
Yeah, up 5,500 or so right now. Going to take this inhib as well. Jojipyun's in there. He's got the stolen Lilia ulti, but not going to use it again. Just buying space, giving his team time to take down the inhib. This is the thing they couldn't do last time in the previous game. They will get done with this Baron. So a very successful Baron buff there for EGA. See what 100 Thieves do there. As again, they're going to be looking for that soul in 3 minutes time. But now that the gold divide is so much bigger than it was before.
Yeah, and I think this is just going to be a Baron game. Like, 100 Thieves, we're closing in on towards Soul, but even then, Cloud Soul is not going to be game-ending, so it was going to be an Elder Dragon, but they can't even access that now. So, really, it's going to be about Evil Geniuses. If they want to be able to just cap this win, they can play it by the books and keep them in side lane like they were doing prior. But Baron buff is a very easy way to cap this game off, so just keeping on this side of the map. And if they were to lose track of a ward, remember, Baron is a long time from now, so it's just going to expire naturally. So just sitting here, camping out, is the best strategy.
Yeah, this is really nice. Taking all this vision. Alistar can face check, it's fine. He's got flash, he has ulti. Not a huge risk, especially with the teammates so close by. Jojo been continuing to give the thumbs up. Tony Top is going to guide the minions into that top half of the map because they also have supers, remember, pressuring that bottom side naturally as well. So love this setup here for EG. They're probably just going to wait around until the Baron spawns and then run back. I don't know how much gold they have off the last play, so I don't know if they spent, but I believe they have.
They did base.
If they have, they can just sit here.
Yeah, they ended up basing after the 2,000 gold that they ended up.
It's very responsible.
So that was nice. And they're replacing their control wards that they do have. So if you look at the minimap, there's a control ward in bot lane that if they were to go down there, can keep them safe from a flank. They replaced one of their control wards that was around Baron because they've had that control of that area for so long. So they're now just, reaffirming their control over the red side jungle. And what they should just be doing is going back and forth between mid and top lane. And then when Dragon comes up, it's never going to be contested by 100 Thieves. They shouldn't even look at it. So this game is firmly going to be decided around, hey, can 100 Thieves get a pick around mid lane? Can they steal Baron? They need that.
All right, well, Luga, 3 items actually finished. Same for Demonte. He does have the LDR now done.
We're getting there.
Yeah, I mean, Tristana loves levels as well, but actually Demonte is almost level 16, so not too bad on the Trist. Passive continues to find side lanes here. I mean, the unfortunate, little delay in this game. Tenacity may be caught out. Gonna take a while to kill this Scion, but they're gonna try for it here. It's just Contracts though alongside the Alistar. That's not enough. It's Jojipyun though diving into the backside with a stolen Brawl multi on the Luga. But now Tenacity's out of there. Jojo though, he's just dead. He tried to make the hero play. Instead he gets decapitated by Demonte. And now Shoyu's gonna be forced to ulti and all that control they work for, Raz. It's just kind of falling apart. Shoyu gets slapped. He's going to get picked up there by Demonte. Almost dies. Does die at the end of it all as Luga takes down the Alistar as well. And Tony Top going to be forced around. He may just survive alongside Contracts. But what was such a good position is going to be the Cloud Soul for 100 Thieves.
Oh my god. And Baron is up too. How you going to mess that up? Jojipyun was caught in no man's land while their team was committed on the Scion. And just like that, Soul and a direct train line to Baron. 100 Thieves are back in the game.
I think they're ahead actually.
Yeah.
They can get this Baron. It just feels tough. Yeah, they're going to TP in. I don't know where that TP is even going. Can't be that deep because there's no wards. Because again, they spent all that time denying the vision away. At least 100 Thieves can't actually get the Baron, so EGA will hold on to their advantage, and they might even just go for the counter on the Baron right now. Tenacity though does have TP.
EG can go for Baron here. EG can go for Baron here because the minions down bot lane are finally starting to stack up. So there we have it. It's now back to 100 Thieves. that have to force a fight.
Oh, they're in there. Tony Top over the top with the pulverized started by the alley. And now Jojo Pion this time diving into the backside, but it's just too much. They can't get back. Oh! Luger with the execute. And 100 Thieves once again. Now Tenacity TP's in to ult in for the engage. Contracts is going to be killed. That's a free Baron for 100 Thieves after that kill.
Man, just like that, they had to look for a fight. EG was the one that pulled the trigger. They really should have played that one patiently. And now 100 Thieves get it all. They get the Baron, they can base, and protect their base from the super minions that were crashing in at the same time. If EG was a little bit more patient, they could get everything there.
Kind of feel like that's the story of this game for EG. So many good spots. So many great setups, just a little impatient, too keen to start the fight and make the big play to crack open the game, where the game's already there for you. As we go all the way back to this attempt on the massive pipe and bottom side. But this isn't the problem. It's Jojo put on the left side of your screen that's causing the mischief.
Yeah, he thought he could work for something, but 100 Thieves, remember, they just look at this and say, we don't have to worry about the tenacity. He's going to remain alive, and even if he does die, it's a worthwhile trade for the Fed Silas. So Shoryu uses his ultimate a little bit late, I guess early. At the end, he still gets slept, so it has no impact. And so that's it. I mean, everyone falls once Jojo Pion dies.
Oh, good route, but where's the follow-up? Contracts is the one. Devontae the target, but not enough. Has the ulti stolen though? Oh, barely. Not getting the E over the top, but Jojo Pion still wants more. Luger maybe the target now. Contracts finds a stun. They've got the Trist ult stolen as well, but Luger, he's just so tanky, man. Kites it back through. He's going to kill Contracts. Can be low. Dies to the alley. Devontae almost dead as well, but Luger's alive, and that's all that matters for 100 Thieves is Poom. Now the target. The ulti not quite able to kill the alley. But Shoryu eating too much damage. Tony Top with a big stun. Shoryu there with the Feather Storm, but Tenacity finishes him off, and Luger still running and gun and takes down the last one.
So well played. 8, 2, and 6. He was buying time and playing to his range for Tenacity to come in from the flank. And I think this should be it. 25-second death timer on Jojo Pion. 19 seconds on Contracts, and you already have your Jinx that is going to get excited from taking these turrets. So, this might be the series.
That's looking like the series indeed, Raz. It's 100 Thieves Academy getting revenge on Evil Genius Academy 3-1 as they push themselves one series closer to the grand finals.
Man, that game has to hurt for EG Academy that made that trek for the entirety of Proving Grounds to get here. But for 100 Thieves Academy, the story is there. Luger, an insane player. Tenacity, flexible. His Aatrox game was beautiful. And the Sion game, amazing. Chef's kiss, right? I just think this team has a lot. And No Org, that's going to be their next opponent tomorrow, has a lot coming to him.
Yeah, going to be, I mean, the nice thing for 100 Thieves, I guess, storyline-wise, is like everyone they play is supposed to be better than them because they fell down at some point and had to play back through losers. That's why these double Elium runs are so fun. But 100 Thieves, like, only improving with games, it feels like, right? They lost to this team last time, and they got swept by Contracts Nidalee and the rest of the team. This time, they ban the Lucian and Renekton. They give him Nidalee once, lose and realize their error, and then don't really let control of the game for that much longer. Like, yes, EGA had lots of good spots, and I think fumble positions that they were in, or maybe played a little bit too quickly. EGA have the talent, they have the skill, and I think for all the praise we give Jojo Pion, I think we can see why he's a young player, right? Very talented, very good. But some of those 1v3 dives are just a bridge too far.
Yeah, you have to go through those plays at some point, either through scrims or in pressure moments to learn. And that's why, no reason to nail him down because he's going to come back. He's going to come stronger. The guy is insanely young and new to the competitive scene. So you take it on the chin and you know that he'll learn. But that means that they are now gone from the Proving Grounds. That's the last time we'll have seen from Evil Geniuses Academy. And there's a lot to look forward to for 100 Thieves. They have been, quote unquote, learning through the entire Proving Grounds because this makes their 18th game. A lot of their games go the distance, the full 3 games and a best of 3. And for this one, I mean, it went 4 games, but it goes to show that it feels like they're getting better throughout, the entirety of the tournament. And even in this game, I feel like they have a lot to learn if they want to be able to take down confidently No Org, and the ones that are sitting in the finals, the big boss in Cloud9 Academy.
Yeah, again, like matchups only get harder, but they do get more exciting as a result. I almost want to say, like, just write off game one for 100 Thieves. Certainly if you're Luger, I think you just forget about it. Like, he was pretty invisible in game one, and I don't think necessarily like it's his fault. Yeah. I just think like the game was so much about the mid and jungle, and that's kind of all it was. And he got pushed in a little in the bottom side, then the jungle advantage spilled down after the mid laner got ahead alongside the jungler, and then like he couldn't really do anything. But let me tell you, the game's always untouched. Mans knows how to carry.
Yeah, my mind definitely could not take all of what was happening that game, especially the early game comedy of errors. Like that type of thing where I was like, all right, well, at some point we're going to steer the ship in the right direction. And then like things like these happen. So I do think that 100 Thieves, when things went wrong, quickly reorganized. Like with the composition that they have, it is difficult. If you have Lilia and Braum, it's hard to start a fight. You need your entire team to be there, or at least a good portion of your team to know that you have the numbers. And, you know, proper coordination. Know how to team fight around a Braum, Lilia. And I think Kenvi, great Lilia. So that just means that now going into the next series, if there is an Udyr first pick, No Org has to know how to deal with what's coming, because that is going to be a consistent strategy of playing double AD carry on Braum that they're going to be throwing at you.
Yeah, for sure. But 100 Thieves, just a great series all around. 100 Thieves Academy, as a result, they take the series. And when we return, Luger is going to be joining us for the Verizon post-game interview. So don't go too far.
The Kral himself.
Welcome back for the Verizon post-game interview. Just like yesterday, we've got a little bit of a twist on it. One of the very winners from the match you just witnessed is joining us here on the desk, and it is none other than 100 Thieves Academy. Luger, Luger, how are you feeling after this series, man?
I feel not so good because I almost soloed the game, the last game actually, and I mean, feel good like we win the game, we win series. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, things were a bit tight between both of the teams. If we take a look kind of how things ended up, Evil Geniuses did have an early lead. What do you think was key to 100 Thieves turning things around in game number 4?
Number 4, actually, our comp is like the good for the for late game. Our comp is good. If I play good, like in last fight, if I don't flash, if I don't use my flash, we lose game. But I use my flash, so it's kind of skill to play with like our comp, I guess. But I mean, I prefer our comp actually to play. We just need to carry the early game in this game. So yeah, it's killing, guys.
Yeah, it definitely was a sight to see, Kangas.
You mentioned you don't feel too great. You felt like you almost threw the game for your team, and I want to cite a specific time during that game where you got picked as the Jinx, and this is at the beginning of kind of this gold swing, right around that towards the mountaintop, and then they got the Baron. But you brought it back. You won back-to-back team fights.
Yeah.
So, I mean, walk me through your mentality as a team, what the communication was like, and how you were able to stay focused on the objective at hand, which was win the game.
Actually, I don't understand.
Sorry, here, let me rephrase that. How do you as a player try and stay, focused on the game rather than tilting?
Yeah, I mean, in competitive game, you shouldn't tilt, of course, because like we are in tournament, serious matches, like, I mean, I don't tilt, in the matches, like in solo queue, I just tilt a lot sometimes, it happens. Yeah. But in competitive, I think, I don't know, no one tilt, I think, in my team or maybe other team. You shouldn't be tilt also, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, you've been competing for some time, even before joining us here in Academy over in your home region. What has it been like for you developing with this 100 Thieves squad alongside, Golden Glue as a coach too?
Yeah. It's good to hear 100 Thieves in the team. I mean, it's good. What should I say? I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, good is good. We like to hear that it's been good with the team, right?
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy here.
Happy. We like happy thoughts. And I mean, we were all very happy to see your play. You already mentioned that you had to flash to be able to win it. We're actually going to take a look at those moments here. Just tell us a bit more about what's happening with the team communication during these fights.
In the last fight, kinda. I mean, I know, if I fail my flash for enemy engage, when they enemy engage, we lose game. And I focusing more like my using flash is good before fights, like thinking, So yeah, just the flash. I think in the last game series. Yeah.
And I want to highlight. I mean, this is a lot of plays that we're seeing from this last game, but it of course was a team effort throughout the whole series. How loud is 100 Thieves? Do y'all make a lot of noise when you're playing together? Do you scream and kind of shout during team fights, or are you more calm? I just want to get some insight as to the team communications.
For calling, actually we don't have like the shot calling thing in the game or team. Like we just talking, like if we say something, like if 3 people agree the call, we just do it, So we don't have like shot calling. We just everyone talk and we choose what's the base. So yeah.
So I guess I have a bit of an interesting question, right? Like you say that you're fairly flat in shot calling, no like clear leader, but how do you feel about playing with this team? Tenacity, relatively new.
Yeah.
Kenvi, relatively new. Demonte, veteran. Poom, new. But we don't know Luger very well, right? This is your first time in NA. Do you think of yourself as this veteran, or are you just looking to people like Demonte to kind of still be the leader of the team?
Leader? I mean, For what you say actually? I'm sorry. Yeah, for
Are
leader,
you
say?
100 Thieves crawl, or is Damonte the crawl, the king?
Yeah, I understand it. I mean, I don't care so much. Actually, if he's Kral, he's Kral. If I'm Kral,
It's okay. A whole team, everybody's a crawl, right?
yeah. I mean, I don't even think like which guy in the Kral or team. It's kind of out there.
You got to be careful what you call Damonte on broadcast, though. His Twitter following is pretty big. I'm sure that they're going to start putting rounds on him. Starting pretty soon.
Kral,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, speaking of Twitter and the activity there, Kangas, I heard you had a little bit of activity of your own on Twitter.
Yeah. I do have to issue a formal apology to Golden Glue, Golden Mom, who tweeted at me after my 3-0 prediction. I'm sorry, Luger. I'm sorry that I didn't believe in all of you're over here. I'm sorry. That
3-0 enemy team? 3-0 enemy team, you say? Yeah, you say enemy
I predicted
team.
Evil Geniuses 3-0. That's on me.
Yeah, I'll be honest,
you're the
Luger.
one that doesn't know a single Yu-Gi-Oh card. So who's the real villain here? I mean, come on. How are you gonna not know Yu-Gi-Oh? Did you watch episode 1? I told you to check out the first season.
Episode? I don't watch. I think. No, I don't.
All right.
After Proving Grounds is done. After Proving Grounds is done, he's got
True.
more games to win
Yeah.
still.
Yeah.
In the next content we see, you'll all be playing the game together. We do have something to share with you, Luger. I mean, based on this 4-game series and your play, you have actually been named Player of the Series for this matchup against Evil Geniuses Academy. What does it mean to you to have titles like this, being Player of the Series, showing how strong you have been for 100 Thieves?
For the join? I'm sorry. For the join? What you say?
Does this mean something to you? I mean, you were declared the best player of this series. Without you, then 100 Thieves weren't going to win it. Yeah, that's you. Bask in the glory, my friends.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I feel like I'm not playing well. Like, I actually playing so bad in the maybe one game. And last game, I think I troll a bit. Like, I deserve to lose, this game. But, yeah. It is what it is. Yeah, thank you.
All right, Luger. We got a big question.
Yeah.
Proving Grounds, almost done. You've already done very well. You have been a very good player. What is Luger doing after Proving Grounds?
After league, I think for the I think I chill in my home.
Chill?
And go outside, go beach. We
Go
close
to the
the
beach?
beach. Yeah.
What about LCS? When are we seeing Luger in LCS?
I don't know. Maybe I can play. I feel like I can play. Maybe I believe myself. I can play and I can base steady in the LCS in later time. I believe myself and maybe I can do in the later games, later times. So yeah, I'm confident.
Luger.
I can believe. And bye guys.
We believe in you a lot, Luger. The 100 Thieves fans also believe in you. I mean, 100 Thieves Academy today, anybody that missed it, they did take the series in this match against Evil Geniuses Academy. And that means that they are going to be moving on. And taking a look at the bracket right now, the winner of tomorrow's series will move on to face Cloud9 Academy in Sunday's final. And I mean, these have been some very exciting matches, Joshi. What do you make of what is going down tomorrow between 100 Thieves and No Org?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest for Luger. I thought Evil Geniuses would win today. Kangas thought Evil Geniuses would win today. We were both wrong, and that means that 100 Thieves are actually going to be going up against No Org tomorrow. And I think this is one of the teams that I predicted to be in the finals. So 100 Thieves, if they show up like they did today, I think they can make it to the finals. They have played very well, but the question is always, are we going to get the best version of 100 Thieves? Are they the team that can actually start competing in LCS? Or are we going to see the version that it was dropped down to lower bracket against Evil Geniuses the first time? I think it's going to be a very exciting series.
I'm very excited to watch the Tenacity versus Viper matchup because we saw the Tony Top tease strong side top laner. Well, now he's gonna be put through the ringer here. So let's see if Tenacity can hold on.
Yeah, Luger, what do you think about going against No Org tomorrow?
Tomorrow, yeah. We can win, first of all. And if like people say, 100 is bad, like he can't win, like something else. But I think we play League of Legends, so everything can happen if we make like good comp, good in-game like calls, like choosing well in the game. We can win like every games, every versus team, not the versus like team org, right? I'm sorry, I don't know the name.
Mm-hmm. Both work.
Yeah.
Both work there.
Yeah.
But I mean, also you got the buff of Golden Glue Mom live tweeting your games, so I don't know how.
Oh yeah, Golden Glue Mom. Yeah, Golden Glue Mom.
Does she like bring you team snacks and stuff, and like bring you like little like baskets with food in it?
Yeah, we eat. Yeah. Yeah.
She's carrying the team, man. I can't believe it.
It's so good to have her support there. Luger, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations again on your victory today.
Yeah, thank you.
It's so great to get to hear from you. Yeah, that's going to do it for us, though, here on the broadcast. You gave us plenty of action in the games itself, Luger, and now it's time for us all go relax before we get to watch you take to the virtual stage again tomorrow. So all of the fans out there, on behalf of myself, the casters, and the entire remote broadcast crew, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow for more League of Legends action. Until then, good morning, afternoon, evening, and good night.